All right, let's talk stocks. Let's talk the stock market, this pullback we've had over the last month in the stock market. I have a kind of different perspective of the stock market. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers here on YouTube talking about, going into the stock market is right now a good time to be buying stocks. A lot of them are very bullish and they think of the classic things that we're all being told. Okay, Fed sorry, my brain. Fed printer go burr. Everybody, they have that classic thought, oh, the Fed printer goes burr and they just do a new stimulus package and now it's just as easy as that. Just as easy as that. So simple. So simple, right? It's always just such a simple thing. I have a unique perspective where I think that there are a lot of big warning signs going on right now and very clear examples of how you can look past the smoke and mirrors based on these little details that I'm going to go over in this video. The first one is the dollar index. If you genuinely believe, and I mean, there's some YouTubers that I like these YouTubers quite a bit, that are talking about the Fed. Oh, the Fed printer goes burr, and and they're just going to do this new $2 trillion stimulus packages. Stocks just have to go up. They have to go up. Well, this news, everybody is pretty certain the stimulus package is going to go through. Yet for the last month, it drops. The last month, I'm looking at Apple's chart, and Apple's, pretty as blue chip as it gets. Apple's dropped over the past month about 11%. Which is quite a bit when you consider how much it's a $2 trillion company, but also the price to earnings ratio is 32. I remember when that price to earnings ratio was was a lot lower than that. But then let's look at Tesla. Tesla over the last month really got hit hard. Tesla over the last month fell nearly, 30 to 35% over the last month. So pretty hard hit for Tesla. It's still trading at a ridiculous multiple, 934 multiple on the price to earnings ratio and a market cap of, 575 billion. So it's very odd to me that the stock market's going down where everybody's been talking about, oh, the Fed's just going to print money. They're going to print, the $2 trillion stimulus package, and that just has to make the stock market go up. Well, I got news for you guys. I got news for you all. They printed nearly $10 trillion already. And yeah, the stock market went up. But what's interesting right now is it seems people are pulling their money out of the stock market ahead of the stimulus package getting dropped. Now, I don't see that as a positive thing. I don't see that as, it's not cooked in yet. The stimulus package is going to come out and it's going to make the stock market go up. Well, if that was the case, people wouldn't be pulling out before that news dropped, right? But they are. Over the last month, they're selling out of these big companies. So what are they doing with that money? What's going on with it? And what's the stimulus package really going to even do? But the thing that's the most concerning to me, and the thing I want to talk about in this live stream, is if the dollar is being diluted by printing a bunch of money, then why has the dollar index rose from the 80s back to 92? Why has the dollar index shot up? And let me show you what the dollar index is. If you don't watch the dollar index, that is one of the most telling things on markets that is one of the biggest key indicators I can tell you is the dollar index. I'm always watching the dollar index. If metals are up big, if metals are down big, I'm always watching the dollar index. That's my key thing that I watch, and that includes the stock market. But if you're telling me the dollar is getting stronger by them printing more money, I got a bridge to sell you. I got some stuff to sell you. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. Up is down, down is up. It doesn't make any sense. If you printed a bunch of dollars, you're then telling me the dollar is strengthening? I don't buy it. Just like I don't buy the stimulus package being dropped going to bump the stock market up. If anything, the stock market should have stayed flat. The stock market should have stayed flat over the last month, but it didn't. So let me show you real quick. Here's the dollar index. Oh, ironically enough, they only let you see a day on the dollar index, but it would be an interesting chart of it going back up. But the dollar index is sitting there at a lofty level. The dollar index should not be this high. See, it's like literally, it's so obvious when you really understand. If you understand the mechanics behind the dollar, it is so odd to print as many dollars. They've printed gold and silver's entire market cap in about a year and a quarter, year and a half. And you're telling me the dollar is getting stronger now? We're supposed to buy that, Powell? Powell and Yellen were supposed to believe the dollar index is getting stronger? And if that was true, then people would want to keep their money in the stock market. You would see the stock market continue to, I would say at least at the bare minimum, while this stimulus package is, the news hasn't dropped yet of it going completely through, but everybody pretty much is on board that it's going to go through. If the stimulus package goes through, you wouldn't want to sell your stocks if you genuinely believed it was going to pump the stock market, right? So why over the last month has it been selling off? So you see the dollar index, although the dollar has been diluted more than ever before, the dollar index has gone up. So you have a mass dilution and the dollar index is going up. Makes no sense, but okay, sure. Dollar index is going up. Then you have over the last month, the stock market selling off. This is a very weird mixture here. It's very telling. If you understand what you're looking at, I'm seeing people leaving the stock market when supposedly the stock market's supposed to pump again. Supposedly the stock market's going to continue to go up due to this, the Fed printer going burr, Poof Powell's going to poof some more money into the ecosystem. But I think what the problem is they're realizing that they have pushed all cylinders on the engine. They're pedal to the metal. They've done everything they can. You want to know how I know they've done everything they can? Hey, Jerome Powell, Janet Yellen, raise the interest rate. You think the dollar is getting stronger, right? This is my game of chicken with you. This is my game of chicken. If you genuinely, Yellen said this, she said, I think the dollar is getting stronger. Powell thinks the dollar is getting stronger. If you genuinely believe that, then raise the interest rate. Come on, man. Come on, man. We'll do it the Elon Musk style. Spill the beans, man. Spill the beans. Just raise the interest rate to 2%. Why not? Why not? If the dollar's strong, just raise the interest rate a little bit, Poof Powell. But no, you won't do that. You won't raise the interest rate. If anything, we're going to go into negative rates. So they have pushed themselves. If we're at zero, the interest rates are at zero. Well, they've pushed the car to its limits. They're realizing that this money printing, they can only do so much of it. And now we're realizing that even if they're going to print money, even if they are going to digitally inject money into the economy, people are still selling their stocks before it comes out. That is very concerning. That is extremely concerning. If over the past month, you're seeing the major stocks like Tesla, like Apple, all of these companies getting sold off over the last month, that's ahead of the stimulus package going out. So all of these tools in their tool belt, they've used them already. And now they're out of resources at this point over at the Fed. And so what do we see? We see the stock market going down, but we also see metals pulling back. But I can tell you this much, dealers don't want to sell their metals. They don't want to sell their metals. Everybody wants to hold them. I used to see listing on eBay and whatnot of 100-ounce bars and whatnot. And there's very few and far in between now because people don't want to sell. The dealers across the country they don't want to sell their metal. They want to hold it. And we should until the manipulation is done, until they actually want to reflect the real price of silver. Maybe we shouldn't be selling our silver. Maybe we should just hold on to our inventory if we can, I know I can. Maybe that should be the case until they accurately reflect what the price of silver should be and not the manipulated price. Maybe then we will sell our silver again. But that's the problem that we're in right now. People don't want to be in diluted dollars. Why are we working for money that they can print? Why are we investing for money that they can print? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And if they're supposed to make me believe that the dollar is getting stronger right now and the dollar index is really at 92, I think what the dollar really is, it should be 45 because they diluted it about that. Should be about half the value of where it currently is. And metals should be, silver should be over 50 an ounce. Gold should be over 2,500 an ounce. The metals should be way higher with the dollar way down if they accurately reflected what was going on right now. So in this crazy storm, in my opinion, it brings opportunity to those that can see past the smoke and mirrors. And on this channel, I want to spread real information here. I don't want to just say, I don't edit my videos. I see a lot of YouTuber channels that are doing this, saying the stock market's going to go up because of, well, the bonds are going to do this and this because of that. And Powell's printer goes brr. And so, yeah, the stock market's going to go up. And I think that this is just a minor pullback. And no, the truth is it's a very telling sign. If people are selling their stocks ahead of the stimulus going through, that's a very telling sign. That's very scary. It doesn't make any sense. So that's really the main point of what I wanted to talk about in this video and why I wanted to go live. I wanted to talk about the truth, and I don't think many people are talking about it. And I think time will tell what's really going on with the dollar. And I know the argument of why the dollar is getting stronger. There's only one argument. And just so you all know what the argument that they're saying why the dollar is getting stronger is because they're basically saying, well, we're the cleanest shirt in the dirty hamper. We're all smelly shirts. We're all stinky shirts, but ours is the least stinky and the least stained in the dirty hamper of fiat currencies. So that's why the dollar is stronger. That's really that's what we're being told. It's like, what? That is wild. That is wild. So what happens when somebody, actually cleans their shirt? What happens when one of the superpowers of the world cleans their shirt and makes their currency back to something? What happens then? I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy that the dollar is getting stronger. I don't buy Yellen's comments. This is just my personal opinion, by the way. All the stuff I say in my channel is just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a Series 7. This is just my opinion on this channel. Could be completely wrong. Could be completely wrong. So it's not to be taken as financial advice, the things that I'm saying. Of course, I'm not saying to invest in anything right now. I'm just telling you why I have no stocks myself. I am currently completely out of the stock market. I have 0 stocks. That's how many stocks I have. A whole 0. I'm not shorting the market. I'm not long the market. I'm just out of the market completely. Until I see accurate representations of what the dollar really should be valued at, until I see an accurate representation of what precious metals should be valued at, what Bitcoin should be valued at, all these different things, I'm not interested in being in the stock market. And in this video, I'm going to tell you also what I'm doing instead personally. This is what I'm doing personally. And I think that the reason the stock market has pulled back in the last month is due to people wanting to preserve their capital. I mean, why wouldn't they want to lock in gains? What happened is at the beginning of all this, the Fed's printer did go burr. It went crazy burr to the tune of 10 trillion roughly, right? So they made a lot of money. And now, prior to this next stimulus package coming out, they're selling off. So people would rather declare their profits that they've made a bunch of money on, and they have made a ton of money in the stock market over the last 8-9 months. A ton of money has been made in the stock market out of thin air. So why would you not want to be taking capital? I've said this in the past. It's like a game of hot potato. It's a very diabolical game of hot potato, and who's going to hold the hot potato too long until the hand gets burned? Who's holding the hot potato too long? And so right now, I think all of the smart money is going, I don't want the hot potato. Let's sell and claim this huge profit that we've taken. Maybe it goes a little higher. Maybe it doesn't. I don't think it does. Let's sell a little bit. And I'm going to take my profit off the table and I'm going to put it into real estate, or I'm going to buy metals with it. I'm going to buy silver with it. I'm going to buy gold with it. I'm going to buy platinum with it. You know what? I have a great business idea. I want to create a clothing company, and I would rather create my clothing company than keep my money in the stock market right now. I want to declare my gain. So there are people taking their money off the table prior to this stimulus package coming out, because if they really believe the stock market was going to go up, this would be a perfect storm. You're telling me another stimulus package is coming out? Oh, perfect. That means Poofed money is going to be put into society and it's got to go up, right? But no, they're taking money off the table ahead of the event. This isn't them selling off after the stimulus package pumped it up. It's selling off before. And that's a very telling sign to me. So I actually disagreed with, I believe it was Andre Jink is one of the channels that made a video on it. Just so you know, I'm not just saying like random YouTubers. He made a video saying why he believes in the stock market right now. And I, for all of the reasons he stated, is why I'm exactly opposite of that. For all the reasons he stated that he is positive on the stock market is why I'm negative on the stock market. I'm exactly the polar opposite. With much due respect, I really like the guy a lot. He's a good guy. And I recommend subscribing to that channel. It's a really good channel. But what he said on the stock market, I think is odd when you know everything that when he knows everything he knows about cryptocurrency. I don't want to talk too much about another person, but there's YouTubers out there, you know, saying the stock market is a good buy right now. And I couldn't disagree more. I think what's going on is a major telling sign. I think the dollar should not be this strong. I think it is not accurately reflecting how diluted the dollar is. And I think there's going to be some major news coming out. I think there's going to be a lot of people selling off in the stock market and moving that money into safe haven assets. I think they're going to be doing it ahead of the event too. So right now, smart money is getting rid of their hot potatoes and they're putting that money somewhere smart. You know, starting their own business, putting it into precious metals, putting it into collectibles, putting it into real estate. These are all things where people want to put their money right now because they want to protect their assets, putting it into Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin's holding pretty strong, guys. You know, it had a rough pullback down to 43,000, but it's holding really strong. Look at that yearly chart on Bitcoin. And the fact that it's holding that gain, it just tells me everything I need to know. People want to go to a safe haven asset and they trust Bitcoin more than they trust the dollar right now. You know, I really think that's going to continue to snowball and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. That's just my personal prediction on it and why I've sold out of the stock market myself. I'm going to get to some question and answers in here, but that's genuinely what I think is happening here. And it's not just precious metals. It's not just them pulling it out and going into precious metals. It's them going into safe haven assets. You know, and that could be real estate. That could be their own business. That could be all kinds of different things. It could be a collectible watch of all things. It could be Pokemon cards. Whatever it is, people are looking for a safe haven to park their profits that they made in the stock market. And right now, our economy doesn't run the way an economy is supposed to run. You know, the way a strong economy runs, you know, historically, or, you know, if things were legitimate, you would have products being made. You got to make stuff to have stuff. You know, it's like we've lived in this crazy economy where we go, yeah, stuff just comes from thin air, right? Yeah, stuff just comes from thin air. They poof it into the ecosystem and then it just poofs right into my bank account and I buy stuff with it. That's how the economy works here. And the more you think about it, it's like, wait, this doesn't make any sense at all. This doesn't make any sense at all. And if you're smart, you're taking your money off the table, I think. This is my personal opinion, again, not to be taken as advice. I think the smart money is getting out of the stock market ahead of the news. You know, buy the news, sell the rumor, or sell the rumor, buy the news, whatever the saying is. I think they're getting out before the news drops. I think this sell-off here in Apple is very telling. Apple especially, because Apple's doing a great job. But I wanted to make this video for all the people that are subscribed to my channel, everybody that's shown me as much love as they have on this channel, and I have my fair share of haters, and justifiably so. There's a lot of subject material here to hate on. But all the people that have really supported me, and the haters as well, I love all of you. I really appreciate you all being here, and I'm honestly humbled by how much support I've gotten. So I want to share the real information that I genuinely believe. And I think that there is a lot of manipulation here. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. And to just summarize it, I think the dollar, it should not be at this level. I would have a much different thesis if the dollar index showed the dilution that has happened. The dollar, if you can't dilute the dollar as much as they have and then expect for the dollar index to be at 92. The dollar index should be at a bare minimum, you know, or bare maximum 75, 80 after the dilution that went through. Realistically, it should be like 45, 50 to show how much it has been diluted, but it's not. It's having your cake and eating it too, or whatever. That saying, probably butchered that saying too, but it's not making sense the way it's going on. It doesn't make any sense. And so I don't think that can go on for much longer. And if there's anything, if you look at Tesla's chart, look at the month chart on Tesla. That's people taking profits ahead of a stimulus package. Tesla's a hot stock. It's a hot stock and it's got a lot of good stuff going for it, but people just took a huge, huge amount of money off the table with Tesla. A ridiculous amount of money off the table with Tesla. Let's look at Apple. The 1 month chart on Apple. People took a lot of money off the table with Apple. So these are two stocks that are kind of your stocks that everybody's looking at. And I kind of use them as a good gauge because they're two very popular stocks, and they've sold off big time over the last month ahead of the stimulus package getting dropped. It's very odd to me. You'd expect on like the Apple chart, for example, to just stay flat, at least stay flat at that level until the stimulus package dropped, and then maybe sell off, after the news came out that the stimulus package got dropped, then sell off after that little spike. But why would you sell off ahead of an event that's supposedly supposed to artificially prop up the price of the stock? You're getting out ahead of that? Seems very odd to me. Seems very odd to me. Clickbait on the table, please. I try to not, I don't want to do too much of the clickbait. I could do it. I could put the clickbait on the table. I could do it. But I just, I want to make these videos quick sometimes, and I don't want people to get the wrong impression of me, like, oh, listen to me because I have 1,000 ounces of silver on the table. Listen to me. Here's $30,000 worth of silver. I don't want that to get taken the wrong way, but it is clickbait, and I like eye candy myself too. So that's what it is. But also, what's very interesting that I wanted to tell you guys is Elon Musk actually ended up buying I believe it was a nickel mining company just recently, or got a partnership in a nickel mining company. We were talking about them acquiring mining companies. Is that a distraction while he's really buying a silver company? Is that a distraction while he's buying more mining companies? I don't know what it is, but it happened. And we were talking about him going into mining stocks, buying a lithium stock, buying a nickel stock, buying a cobalt company. We were talking about this, and it turns out he's doing it. So very interesting stuff going on at Tesla. Elijah Reyes, do you think the bubble will continue to burst as the dollar continues to dilute? What will happen once the bubble bursts? It's a great question, Elijah. I wish that the thing is, anybody that tells you they have all of the answers is somebody that doesn't have all the answers. There's what's up is down, down is up. All I can do is tell you what I genuinely think the market should be reflecting right now. And my gut has driven me, is steered me in the right direction in the past. So I follow my gut, and my gut tells me don't be in the stock market at all for myself. So I have 0 in the stock market. Now I missed out on a big gain. I made a lot in the metals gains too from, the beginning of all of this until now, but I missed out on a big gain in the stock market. But you know what? My gut still says the same thing, and I'm going to follow my gut. My gut tells me that money shouldn't come from thin air. Money should be something that's hard to get. It should be considered valuable by all. It shouldn't just be this poofed thing into society, and it shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be, if it comes easy, it goes easy. And everybody's gotten a free ride in the stock market lately. So I just don't buy the whole situation. But to answer that question, do you think the bubble will continue to burst as the dollar continues to dilute? What happens once the bubble bursts? I think it's so hard to say, but I am watching more so than the entire stock market, more so than anything else. I am watching that dollar index. I'm watching that every day. Every day I want to see what the dollar index is doing, because realistically it should not be showing the strength that it's showing. It's a inflationary asset or an inflationary currency. It is not a deflationary currency. It should not be going up in value. It has been artificially inflated or diluted so dramatically that it makes no sense for the dollar index to be where it is right now. So that's what I'm watching every day. And if I had a prediction or a thesis to put out there, I would say the dollar crashes. I would say the dollar crashes. The stock market doesn't just show a gnarly crash. I think it just slowly starts deflating. And I think people are going to start taking their money off the top and playing hot potato. Really, honestly, I keep saying hot potato, but that is the best analogy for what's going on right now. I think people are declaring their gains and moving that hot potato into things like Bitcoin, moving that hot potato into things like metals, moving the hot potato into real estate, moving it into a business. There's a lot of opportunities to start a business right now, especially with the internet age, especially with a lot of people there's vacant warehouses everywhere across the country. People might be wanting to buy commercial property and start a business. This is going to start happening a lot more, I think. And I think people are realizing, at least the smart money, this is just my opinion. Again, I think they're realizing that, don't be too greedy. You've had a lot of free money given to you from the stock market. Everybody's, had a great run from all this money being printed and put in there. And people are playing hot potato before the dollar itself crashes. So I'm not thinking like an individual stock crashes or the stock market crashes. I'm thinking more so that the dollar crashes, and what are the effects of a dollar crash? That's the question that I'm asking myself personally. So to answer that, Elijah, without rambling too much, I'm looking at the dollar. I'm looking at the instrument that we are valuing something in. It's like you can look at the building, or you can understand what the building is made out of. It's like you can look at the skyscraper or something and go, okay, that's a skyscraper there. Wow, what a building. Or you could think about, okay, what kind of concrete does that building have? What kind of rebar does it have? What is the building made up of? And for me, I look at the stocks and I go, oh, they're bought in dollars. And they just diluted the dollar. And everybody's saying the stocks will go up because they just artificially injected dollars into society, or they're going to. Like that doesn't make sense to me. It sounds to me like people being greedy. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a spoiled kid, that that's mad their mom's not paying for their apartment or something. That's what it sounds like to me. It genuinely, all of the stock market people, and that's why I'm kind of upset with YouTubers talking about this that are in the finance space, saying, "Oh, they're gonna drop the stimmy checks," and they're making like lingo around it and stuff. And it's like, do you guys understand how serious this is? Or do you just think money comes from the sky and it's all dandelions and roses and all of this? Like, is that really how you all think? It's scary to me. It sounds like spoiled children, that, oh, well, what do you mean I can't have money to pay for my bills? What do you mean? I thought it just comes from the sky. What do you mean? It's like that's what I hear when I hear people talking like that. It doesn't make sense to me. But that would be my way of looking at this whole situation in the stock market. I think the dollar crashes before the stocks do. And Davin says, Rob, what's up, my dude? What's up, Devin? Appreciate the $5, man. He says, please put shiny bars on the table. I got some shiny bars over there in the outfield. If you take it apart, but I'll put a shiny bar up here for you guys. There you go. Put some. These are actually some pretty cool 50-ounce JM bars. For my fellow silver squirrels, anything for my fellow silver squirrels. We'll put some of those on the table. But I appreciate you guys all being here. You guys know that I'm a big fan of silver, and I think silver is the best possible place to be right now. I really do. Ray Foley says smart and gave me $5. I really appreciate that, Ray. Thank you, man. I want to make sure I don't miss any of the super chats. Let me know if I miss a super chat. I think I got to all of them. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah, if you could hit the like button, if you agree with what I'm saying, I'd really appreciate you hitting the like button. It helps get this information out there. I put a lot of time in these videos, and there's a lot of these channels that are doing these very edited videos and very scripted videos. This is just completely live. This is live right now. I'm doing this completely live, just so there is no script. This is just genuine information that I genuinely feel, it's my opinion, could be wrong, but I do these live, and I really would appreciate it if content is valuable to you, if you would hit that like button. Really, really does help. I know it's like people, oh, here he's saying hit the like button again, but if you hit the like button, it really does help. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. We got all the silver squirrels in here. I appreciate it. Hey, Crypto Mason, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Well, let's silver squirrels in the house. Silver squirrels in the house. Honestly, we got a pretty cool community, and it's really an honor to be part of it. So thank you guys all so much for your support. It's really awesome. But overall, I mean, this. Am I buying stocks? Am I looking at the stock market like it's a hot buy right now? No, I'm I'm doubling down on my initial ideas. You know, I'm one of the few precious metals people that also believes in cryptocurrency. And what's so ironic is the more cryptocurrency guys that I talk to, the more I realize that they are for precious metals. You know, it's literally only guys like Peter Schiff, like the gold bugs that are just been gold bugs since forever, that are like hating on the crypto guys. But the crypto guys are actually like, yeah, you know, I like some silver. You know, that sounds good. Like I'd like some silver too, maybe a little bit of gold. Like I'll take some. I really want some platinum. Yeah, that sounds great. You know, like the crypto guys, that's what they do. Like they're interested in getting silver. You know, it's so funny to me because they know what sound money is, and so it's so wrong that like it's like, guys, embrace each other. You know, embrace each other, show each other a little bit of love from both sides. The precious metals guys, the crypto guys, realize you're on the same team. There's a big old pie of fiat currency out there. Big old pie, way bigger than you. You know, we combined market caps of cryptocurrency and gold and silver and platinum all together is less than 15 trillion. Wrap that around your mind for a little bit when you realize there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trillions of fiat currency out there. It's going to move somewhere. Where are they moving all these diluted dollars? Where are they putting the hot potatoes of dollars? Well, they're going to be putting it in precious metals. They're going to be putting it in Bitcoin. So you're on the same team. There is no, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just, but I do notice that the crypto guys actually are very interested in having silver as well. It's very interesting to see that. So I would like to see more, and something that the precious metals individuals can appreciate from the crypto side is the youth of the nation and nations across all the different countries are finally getting informed on what sound money is through Bitcoin. You know, people that had no care about, didn't know what the gold standard was, didn't know what fiat currency was, didn't know what, you know, all of the inflation, what inflation even meant, what deflation meant, any of these things. This is all getting people passionate about the subject, and you're learning so much about sound money because of cryptocurrency. So all of the people that are in the silver industry, gold industry, you know, all precious metals, we ought to tip our hat to Bitcoin and say, hey, thank you for getting this information out there. Thank you for letting people know that this system is wrong. The monetary system needs to be fixed. Thank you for getting this information out there. And by the way, we're on the same team. You know, so I want to be one of the few channels out there that actually believes in both. There's not too many of them, if any at all. But I took a big risk to say that I'm both on the side of silver and cryptocurrencies. So my portfolio right now, just so that everybody knows what my portfolio is. I said that I would tell you what I was going to do right now, and this is what I'm doing. I have 0 stocks. I'm not shorting any company because I don't have a crystal ball. Do I think the stock market deflates? Yes, I do. Do I think the dollar index crashes? Yes, I do. If the dollar index crashes, metals skyrocket because it takes more dollars to buy our metals. And this goes into another point I wanted to talk about. I'm going to keep that thought in my head, though. There was a super chat I don't want to miss. I don't like missing any super chats. I really appreciate those guys. Thank you, man. Ace Genosis says, do you cast any of your own bars or coins? Shh. Soon. I've been working, guys. I've been working really hard. I got some stuff up my sleeves. Acorns, to be more exact. All kinds of acorns. So I'm working on some stuff, but it's I appreciate you bringing that up, Ace. Eventually in the future, I will have some aces up my sleeve, Ace. I've been working on some stuff. Let me get, there's one more super chat I don't want to miss any of those super chats. I really do appreciate it, and it adds up, guys. So I appreciate you doing that. Thank you. Devin says, Rob, are you worried about governments stomping out cryptos? Why would they want to compete with a currency that can control and burr? It's a multi-trillion-dollar question. It's a great question, Devin. And I appreciate you bringing that up for the audience in here because I have an answer for that. I think they could have stopped Bitcoin when it was in the early days of mining it. Now that they're almost at 21 million mined, I think they're up to 19 million of them have been mined. So there's only 2 million left. So Bitcoin's already out there. You can't stop it at this point. I think they could have stopped it when it was like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million coins mined or something like that. You know, when it was like maybe even up to 5 million coins mined. But the problem is it's already out there. It already exists. It's already in wallets. I think what they could do is they could regulate the exchanges. And so that's why it's probably a very good idea, just not advice, just my personal opinion. It's probably a very good idea to own your keys. To all my crypto guys in the house, yes, I actually do know. I'm not just a guy that says I know about crypto. I've done my research, and you don't own your crypto unless you own your keys. And so it actually makes me, speaking of the stock market, and this is relevant to the video, Coinbase doing an IPO actually gets me very nervous to hold assets within Coinbase because there's a lot of regulation stuff going on when you IPO. You know, I think that they know how to make money. I think it'll probably be a very big money-making company, but I don't think that it's a good idea maybe to buy it, but not to keep it there. There's a reason why, and this is very telling with what Cash App did recently, and I want to tell the people in my live feed, everybody that's subscribed to my channel, everybody that's hit that like button, everybody that's here, I want to give you guys real information. And if you're involved in cryptocurrency, watch out for the limitations that are being restricted on the accounts to withdraw the funds. Now, there's a big difference between taking your cash and selling it and declaring a gain and putting the dollars into your Cash App or wherever you have this money. If you sell it in Coinbase, now you have that virtual money in the virtual dollar. It's like there's no more digital, like the most digital Ponzi scheme money is not Bitcoin, actually. Ironically enough, it's the open your commercial banking apps on your phone. That's where it really is. But it's funny. It's like people go, "Oh, what do you mean digital money? This makes no sense." It's just like the dollar's digital, and it's not even on any blockchain of any kind. What do you mean? Like more than, I think it's 92 or 93% of all dollars are already digital right now. So when we talk about cash, it's like, yeah, there's 7% of all the dollars in the world is cash. So it's like, yeah, there's not very much of it. Don't hold that. I think it's somewhere in that range. Somewhere over 90% is already digital. So we already are digital. We already are pretty much moving towards a cashless society. It would be beneficial to at least use a digital, currency that is actually finite and doesn't have the ability to artificially inject a bunch of them into the digital realm. That's not backed by any ledger, any blockchain, nothing. Like that's when you really take it apart. It's like, how did it even come to be like this? Like it's so sketch. It's so sketch. You think about it. It's like, how did it even get to be like this? It's just so wild. But to answer the question, I just rambled for a bit, Devin. I have a problem with the rambling thing, so excuse my rambling, everybody. But I think that they would try to regulate the exchanges first. But then after you own your crypto, after it's on a hard wallet, you're essentially a reserve bank that uses an asset that isn't a dollar. That's using an asset that isn't, a specific current country's asset. It's not a specific country's currency. So if you have taken it out of an exchange that is based in a country, Coinbase is based in the United States. This is actually a really big gem of information. I appreciate you bringing this up, Devin, because I wouldn't have talked about this. That's why I love these live streams. It's so cool to be able to talk to you guys in the live stream. Coinbase is located in the US. So same thing with Gemini, but Gemini isn't doing an IPO with the SEC and all that stuff. So Coinbase is actually the one I would be watching very close because they're doing a lot of volume. They're making a lot of money. And it's probably their main concern at the Fed is, getting this to be more mainstream, which Coinbase doing an IPO would be very, very mainstream. Tesla buying 1.5 billion in Bitcoin, very mainstream. So there's very mainstream things happening. The only way that they could regulate crypto would be to attack the exchanges. So that would be Coinbase. I would be watching very closely at whatever happens with Coinbase in the near future. That would be what I would say with that. And you know what? It could pull back, Bitcoin if they slapped on some sort of regulation thing with Coinbase. I just don't know how they would do it because you're not declaring a capital gain by buying Bitcoin. They couldn't force the company to charge more fees. I just think to myself, how would they regulate the exchange? But to answer the question, the only way that they could stop it, they could have stopped it when Bitcoin was very immature, when it was before 5 million coins that were mined. But now that all of them are almost mined. So they have a lot of Bitcoins in the ecosystem, and a lot of them have them out of the exchanges and everything. And they're also being owned by major Fortune 500 companies, So it's like, okay, well, it's a little too late. It's a little too late to stop it. So they could have been possible at the beginning stages of crypto, but now, I mean, look at like, I believe it's Russia that's like very much so embracing blockchain. Like they're very much so embracing Ethereum, and they've been ahead of the ball. Like they embrace Vitalik. If you notice that, like Vitalik's country embraces him. They don't distance like our country does. You know, they're very against cryptocurrency here, but they can't really stop it. There's nothing they can do to stop it, but there are other countries that are very much so embracing Ethereum, very much so embracing smart contracts, blockchain networks, Bitcoin. They're embracing them very strongly. You know, Venezuela embracing Bitcoin, like it's saving a lot of countries. So if there's other countries that are allowing this, the only way that you could stop Bitcoin is if the internet itself got taken down. Electricity is like, I don't buy the electricity being down argument, because there's going to be electricity somewhere. Somebody's going to have a generator. Somebody's going to have solar panels. So you can't take out electricity as a whole. The internet across the entire world, though, would be the only way. And now that you have Starlink and stuff like that, and that might be Elon Musk's, diabolical plan, is to put, maybe not a diabolical one, maybe a very humanitarian one, is to put these satellites up in the sky, because then you have internet that can't be taken down. He's probably thought of that. If he's putting 1.5 billion, he's probably thought of that. And if you have Starlink up there, the only possible way to take down Bitcoin would be the internet to go down. And that should be, I should make a short video on that, just to make like one of the 10-minute clips on the channel about that subject. But because Devin brought it up, we talked about it here in the live stream. And I love having fun in these live streams. I think that's a really good point that you bring up. But I would say it's very interesting that there's an individual out there that was involved in PayPal, knows online payment processing better than anyone probably. Elon Musk could put on a lecture himself. He didn't need Michael Saylor to tell him anything. He knew all of this stuff. This guy's relanding rockets and putting satellites up in the sky right now. Like, he has been deploying satellites for the past year, many of them. So Starlink is going to be, you can't, what you think Poof Pal is going to be able to point up at a satellite in the sky and go, oh no, don't go, take that down, take that satellite down, get off my lawn. You're like, what is he going to do? What's he going to do? The satellite's in the sky, the internet can't be taken down. It's like Poof Pal going to yelling, going to go leave the bingo hall and walk out on their lawn. Get off my lawn. I can't have the internet. Take the internet down. No more of that. I want to print money. Brr. Like, what are they going to do? They can't stop it. The satellites are in the sky. So if that happens and the internet becomes, decentralized in a way, and that might be Elon Musk's, final feather in his cap, is Starlink and making internet unable to be taken down. So do I think it's too late? I think it's too late to stop Bitcoin. Maybe the altcoins. I mean, realistically, in my mind, with cryptocurrency, there only needs to be 3 different cryptos, and 2 of them solve the problem. So I don't believe in Litecoin. I don't believe in Dogecoin. I don't believe in any of those, because you need one coin to store your wealth on. That's deflationary. You need Bitcoin. So that solves that problem, and better than any other one. And it's already mined. See, the problem with these coins that are altcoins that just poof all the coins out there in the ecosystem and say, yeah, there's 10 billion coins out there. They're already there. They're already mined. They're already there. You don't have a network. You don't have a reward system. So there isn't any, the reason why gold is valuable is because somebody had to mine it, and it was really annoying to mine it and refine it. There's a lot of labor involved. There's intrinsic value there. There's intrinsic value there. And the situation is, with Bitcoin, if you have that intrinsic value, you have a network that is mining it, and they are spending a lot of money on their factories. They're spending a lot of money on the warehouses, on all the different electronics to make the Bitcoin. There's intrinsic value there. So if you don't have a network and you just have a bunch of coins dispersed, you're not going to be that stored asset. You're not going to be that stored value, that digital gold, so to speak. That's very interesting to me, because the problem with the crypto, the altcoins, is these problems that they're trying to solve with their glorified white papers. You have so many altcoins that are they're like the next Uber of lawnmowers. That's what I feel like when I'm reading these white papers. It's like, yeah, we have the next best Uber for lawnmowers. We have the next best Uber for lawnmowers. It's like, wait, is that idea even going to work at all? Like, you got Tron or whatever. Remember when Tron was going to change the internet? Jason's son just made off with $1 billion. Like nothing ended up coming of it. So you really need one coin to store the value, and you need another coin to buy your coffee with and to buy your day-to-day goods with. And then you also need one that can be a smart contract that two people can do a peer-to-peer transaction and trust that they're going to get the product. So you need a smart contract deployment. And Ethereum really solves the problem for the latter two things, and Bitcoin solves the problem for the first one. So realistically, you only need 2 or 3. You need Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe Litecoin. But I don't see a need for any more of these altcoins, other than if you are like your own individual company. If you're like a Facebook or an Amazon and you want to have your own token to convert your Bitcoin into, that's different. You know, so that might be something. But in regards to it going up in value, I don't see a tokenized system going up in value. I see that being a valuable product for a company. I see the tokenized system being a valuable product for an individual company, but I don't see, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but that's how I feel about that situation. And there's 2 more super chats, man. I appreciate it. Hang on. Kane Bizarro, he says, what up, Rob? Like Valcambi Silver, what brands do you go for? And do you look to rhodium? I saw it used in rings and catalytic converters because of high heat resistance. Rhodium is just I'm hearing a lot of things like it's used in military equipment, and military equipment, there's really like no spending limit on it. So that might be partly to do with the inflation of the metal, is that it's being sold for military stuff. And that's where a lot of money gets kind of taken advantage of sometimes when it comes to the equipment for weaponry and whatnot. I'm hearing that is one of the big things with rhodium, but I've been researching rhodium because it's 27,000. I mean, you can't really ignore rhodium. It's had gains like no other metal. It's pretty impressive. But when it comes to brands, I like brands that they're not making anymore, like these JMs. JM is out of business, so it's really cool to have a bar that's like out of business. They can't produce them anymore. And if you're familiar with the bar of that vintage maker, like an Engelhard or a Johnson Matthey, you know that they can't be faked because they're not making them anymore. There isn't a company making them, so they look a certain way because that's how they were made back then, you know? And so when it comes to like a new brand, just make sure you have a tester, make sure you have one of those Ver scanners or an XRF machine or something or a local shop or something to test your material, or you buy it from a reputable source that tests the material themselves. But I have no, I guess my personal preference is bars, like 50 ounce, 100 ounce bars of older vintage bars is my personal preference, but everybody has their own preference. Some people like coins. I think coins premiums are pretty high right now. Bar premiums are really high right now, but coin premiums like the American Silver Eagles are just ridiculous. Ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. So that's how I feel about that, but great question. And I appreciate the $10, Kane. Really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Next, Ray Foley says, I agree with Schiff. Bitcoin takes too much energy. Ray Foley. That's a great concern. The truth of Bitcoin and its energy consumption is, I believe over 70% of it is already renewable energy. So it's not exactly taking energy from the grid. When it comes to how much energy it consumes, I remember a time when electric cars were impossible. You know, I remember a time when electric cars were the same kind of storyline was along the profitability of electric cars. Well, it doesn't seem that way with Tesla. Seems like they're making money, you know? So what my answer to that is technology evolves with the times, you know, and people will find a way. Over time, they will find a way. And solar farms will be coming out. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can't take the only way we are able to lose all of our electricity, like with this terrible situation that happened in Texas. I have a lot of friends in Texas. Actually, one of them I was just talking to today, my buddy Matt. I was talking with him and he said, yeah, some of my neighbors had generators. Some of my neighbors were all set up and dialed in and they all had electricity. We weren't set up for it, but our neighbors were. You know, and so you can't really take down the electricity in this day and age because we have solar panels, we have generators, you know, that you can't really stop the electrical. Like if we were like prehistoric with our methods and we didn't have solar panels or generators or anything, we rely on Edison and we rely on coal and the traditional energy networks, which is like so outdated. The traditional energy networks are so outdated. All of these like spider webs in the sky. If you go to like San Francisco or LA or whatever, you see these spider webs of electrical things in the sky. It's like, how ridiculous is this? Like, this has to be fixed at some point. All of these crazy wires with electricity over our heads over here. Like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And it's solar panels on your roof, trickle charging a battery pack in the garage and lowering the cost points of those items. So I think the energy world really adopts and grows with the times. And I think it already has. I think if we do more research, and we'd be pretty surprised just how far energy, has evolved. But I don't think it's going to be coal forever. I think that it's going to be a slow process to moving towards renewables and getting better about using solar panels and getting more efficient with them. Maybe like some sort of reactor gets developed that's much more efficient than what we currently have. There's just a lot of different ways, and I think it's going to continue to get evolved. But I don't agree with that point that Schiff brings up about it taking too much energy. That it doesn't make too much sense to me. I think that silver is, if I had $100,000 to put into metals, and I have been in this position many times, and I'm currently in this position right now. If I had a bunch of money to put into metals and I had to choose between silver and gold, it would take me less than a second to process my decision. If that doesn't tell you everything about how I feel, I mean, I would buy silver and platinum immediately. It wouldn't even be a question in my mind which metal I wanted more. So the way he pitches gold and only gold is so wrong, because it's not even used for any industrial purpose. It's a completely, to society, we don't use the metal for anything but money. And where is it stored? It's stored in the vaults of governments. That's where the gold is. They don't have the silver. They don't have the platinum. But I can assure you, I can say, this is not to be taken as advice, disclaimer, but the gold is in the central bank's vaults. They got it already. Newsflash, Peter. They already got it. It's already there. They have the gold. They've had the gold for a very long time. So you're not really doing anything. You're not really, it's like the biggest thing is like, who has the gold already? I want the thing that is far more rare, far more used in industry, and being eaten up by industry and highly needed and artificially suppressed for too long. I think that it's not even a comparison. It's not even a comparison. But I appreciate you bringing that up, but that's my personal opinion on it. Hang on, I don't want to miss any of these super chats. That was Ray Foley said, I agree with Schiff. Bitcoin takes too much energy. I don't agree with Peter Schiff's arguments. I think that he is right about being a libertarian. He's right about his philosophies. I think he's a brilliant libertarian and a patriot. I have a lot of really great things to say about Peter Schiff. It's not a hatred by any means. I just think that he wastes way too much time talking about something that's on the same team. And I think that if I had to choose between Bitcoin or gold, I would choose silver, which isn't a choice of the two. But if I had to choose between the two, I would choose Bitcoin, because Bitcoin isn't held in vaults by central banks. They don't have Bitcoin. So I want the thing that they don't have, the thing that they don't control, the thing that's not artificially manipulated. I want that thing. And if I'm going to get into a metal that is manipulated, I'm going to get into one that is highly undervalued and one that is needed by industry, that they have to use it. They have no choice. It's the only noble metal that they can use for their electronics. They have to use silver. So, and platinum is such a limited amount of it out there. Those two metals they're so wildly undervalued that if you have those choices, it's like choosing gold over platinum or silver. I mean, there's a place for it in every portfolio, sure, with gold, but choosing gold over platinum or silver to me is like seeing a Learjet and choosing a bicycle instead. That's how I feel about it. So his arguments and why he chose gold to be only gold, it makes no sense to me. I believe in silver and platinum far more than gold, which is interesting for a precious metals dealer to say that, but it's the truth. I think gold is highly overrated, and I would much rather have silver and platinum. Massimo. If I messed up your name, I apologize, man. But it's a cool name, unique name. I haven't seen that name before. He says, appreciate the $6.99. He goes, what's up, Rob? Love the podcast. What do you think of Algor and crypto? I'm not sure I understand the question. Algor and crypto. I'm a fan of crypto. I can tell you I'm a fan of crypto. But I am very skeptical of all the altcoins. I mean, I should make a video about that on its own. I got to write this stuff down so I remember to do it. But when it comes to crypto, there's only really 3 that are needed. The rest might be Facebook coming out with their own token. They were working on Libra. So they might come out, like these companies might have a token to operate their company that you can change from, Bitcoin to their token so you can easily transact on that website. without having to wait for Bitcoin to be confirmed on the network. So you might wire transfer, like, you know how you wire transfer into your TD Ameritrade? No, you like wire transfer into your Robinhood or whatever, and then the money's instantaneously in there, and now you can use it within their ecosystem. Well, you might technically wire transfer your Bitcoin into like Amazon or Facebook, and then you put your Bitcoin in there, you wait for it to confirm. It might take a day to confirm or however long it takes if you don't want to pay much to the network. It takes a long time to confirm. Then you change your Bitcoin. Once it's in their wallet, you change your Bitcoin to their token. Or you change your Ethereum to whatever their token is, and then that token is you're easily able to transact and keep a flatline value of whatever their token is, and the Facebook token or Amazon token. So I just don't think those tokens are something that is going to be like buying a Bitcoin at a penny or something, where it's just going to skyrocket in value. I think there will be a rise of stable coins. And that's what I'm talking about, is like you change your Bitcoin in for a stable coin so you can do your easy transactions online. But I don't see any need for any altcoin. The only things that are necessary right now, until things evolve, obviously things can evolve and change, but at this current time, I only think that there's 3 coins needed, or better yet, 2 coins needed, really just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe Litecoin. I don't see any need for anything. And if there is a need for it, it's not an investment need. It's just a need to transact on a website, or need to, have a tokenized system with whatever your company is. So I just don't see that. Maybe I'm crazy. That's just my personal opinion on it. But I see no reason to be anywhere but Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum right now. I see no need other than just pure speculation and gambling. That's my opinion on that. Massimo, thank you I really appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you. I don't want to miss any of those super chats. I think that was the last one. But to everybody saying, like, what are my thoughts on Ripple? What are my thoughts on XRP? What are my spots on EOS? What are my spots on all of these things? I don't think that the market needs them. Like, I think there really only needs to be, don't take that the wrong way, actually. The market might need them, but I don't think the investment world, I don't think the ROI world, or return on investment, needs anything other than Bitcoin or Ethereum if you're talking about something going up in value. If you're talking about a token, then, I don't see a token skyrocketing. I see them being a stable coin. But, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But for right now, for me, I'm still very skeptical. I'm still a precious metals, bug. I believe in precious metals. So for me to even believe in crypto at all is kind of different, or very different for the industry that I'm in. But I understand Bitcoin's network. I understand Bitcoin's blockchain, and I just want to be all in on Bitcoin right now. Maybe a bit of Ethereum as I'm learning more about the staking system, the possibility of it actually being, that there's a lot of things about Ethereum 2.0 that I'm very interested in and I'm still researching. So I'm not putting Ethereum out of the realm of possibilities for me. But for right now, it's just Bitcoin is what I really believe in. Ray Foley says, I agree with you on silver. That's where I'm at. I work at the Homestake Gold Mine in South Dakota in 1973, a mile down. You know what's crazy? I have a Homestake Mining old ingot, and they're worth a lot of money, those old ingots from Homestake. So if you have them still, shoot me a DM, and I'll buy them off you. Those Homestake Mining ingots, those old school ones from the 80s and the 70s, there's a lot of money to be made on those. They're very collectible. Homestake Mine was the deepest mine, I believe, in the country. So really cool, man. That's super cool that you're in the live feed, Ray. Appreciate you bringing that up. So like, yeah, that's my point with Peter Schiff, is it's like he's dead set on Bitcoin being a zero and it's nothing and it's worthless. But at the same time, he's dead set on gold, where he's talking about silver a little bit now, but silver's like 2% of what he talks about. He doesn't ever talk about it really, or platinum. And I would much rather be, don't take this the wrong way. 60, 70% of my net worth, somewhere in that range, is precious metals. Just precious metals, physical precious metals. So don't take this the wrong way and think I'm just a crypto guy or something. I'm big precious metals right now, specifically silver. The amount of silver I have right now is, and I'm not sharing it, People want me to upload inventory to the website, and I'm not. I think that we're going to see more and more dealers saying, and it's actually kind of a patriotic thing in a way, where you can go, you know what? We're sick of you artificially manipulating our silver. We're sick of it, JP Morgan. We're sick of it. All the big banks, we're sick of you artificially manipulating our silver, and maybe we just don't sell it. Maybe we're just sick of selling it, and all the wholesale networks decide to just very much so limit the amount of silver they sell. to their clients that actually are going to be holding it themselves. Maybe that continues to happen and be a trend. But what I'm seeing right now on the wholesale networks is dealers don't want to sell, including myself. When it's artificially manipulated down to 25, I don't want to sell it. In my mind, my silver's worth 50. Just because, and this is why the other argument that Peter Schiff has with Bitcoin, but this relates to silver in this situation with silver, is just because somebody says this is what it's valued at doesn't mean that I want to trade my item for that. Just because an auction or something sold at 1,000 doesn't mean I want to sell my item at 1,000. You're saying that it's worth that, but I might think it's worth 1,500 and the auction sold too short. You know, that's the difference here. And so when somebody's exchanging their money for Bitcoin, say someone wants a $50,000 Bitcoin and they want to exchange $50,000 US for a Bitcoin. There is somebody, just because it doesn't mean that fiat had to exist for them to have Bitcoin. It just means that somebody with Bitcoin went, I don't really want your dollars. My Bitcoin isn't diluted. Your dollars are super diluted. So I'll tell you what, it used to be like 3,000 for one of my Bitcoin for your dollars. But I guess I have some use for your hot potato. I can buy something really quick with it. I want to buy a car or something. So I'll tell you what, I'll trade you my Bitcoin, but I need 50,000 of your diluted dollars. That's what I'll do. And so when you see that happening, that's the trade-off. And so think about it more from that perspective when you are buying a stock or you're buying silver or you're buying, any type of thing that could have a premium. Think about it as somebody that is negotiating with you. Like, okay, yeah, I'll take your dollars, but I need 50,000 of them for my Bitcoin. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll take your dollars, but silver's at 25 an ounce, but I need 35 an ounce. That's my price. If you don't like it, I'm not selling it. Just because it says 25 doesn't mean I'm selling it for 25. It's worth a lot more than that. I think that's artificial. I think that's a bad auction. I don't think that's what it's worth right now. So I'll take 35 of your dollars per ounce of my silver, but I'm not selling it for 25. And if you don't believe me, go to your local shops. Go to your local pawn shops. Go to your local coin shops. Go to wherever is local to you and ask them for silver at spot and see how quickly you get laughed out of the door. Or that they just won't even show it to you at all. They say, oh yeah, we're out of silver. There's a ton of this in the back. They won't sell it because they don't want your dollars. They want their silver. So I think that trend continues, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. I think that I have never seen such a detachment from the physical price of the metal from the spot price. And this is purely from manipulation of selling short silver. You can get as much paper contracts as you want, Jamie Dimon. You can get as much paper contracts as you want. Andrew left at Citron. These are just my opinion. Could be completely wrong about these projections, by the way, guys. This is just my opinion for entertainment, education purposes. Disclaimer. Could be wrong, Jamie. But they can buy as much paper short contracts as they want to artificially suppress the price of silver. But the truth is, you can't put a paper contract or a digital paper contract in a car. You can't put a paper contract in a solar panel. You can't put it in electronics. You actually have to have the physical metal. And the people who have the physical metal, like myself, don't want to sell it for the price that's manipulated. And so we're going to see a trend of that, I think. And what the overall summary of this video and the stock market and everything I wanted to talk about is looking past the smoke and mirrors and developing your own thesis. I am more bullish than ever on silver. They could pull silver down to 18. But I know that the premiums are going to be skyrocketing at that point because the demand is outpacing the supply that's available. So they're just trying to artificially suppress it, but eventually that catches up when they have to deliver the goods. And if they get short squeezed, it could be one of the most epic short squeezes of all time with silver. It would take a long time. It's going to take a lot of pressure for them to switch. But what happens with hedge funds and stuff is they inevitably will switch over to what makes them more money. And maybe they make more money by stopping the artificial suppression and joining along the bullish side of metals. Maybe, JP Morgan stops shorting silver and turns over to buying it and actually getting with the long side of silver, realizing that the dollar is diluted and it's been diluted beyond repair. And maybe some of these banks start joining in on that versus artificially shorting it. But that's my kind of, I like to simplify things a little bit. And that's my simplified way of saying what a free market is. A free market is I believe in free market capitalism, And that is no better way to summarize free market capitalism, in my opinion. Just because somebody says my silver's worth 25 doesn't mean I'm going to sell it for that. Just because someone says your silver's worth 25 doesn't mean you're going to sell it for that. You're going to say, thank you for your offer, but I kindly refuse that. I'm not interested in that price. I think it's worth a lot more than that, and I think the price is artificially manipulated. But thank you very much for your offer. I'll pass. And I think we'll see more and more of that. But sorry if I ramble a little bit. I hope that there's some gems of information in there. I ramble in these live streams, everybody. But I appreciate everybody for being here. Don't want to be too far. Keek Lord Gray says, second time around, is PayPal a good place? This is your second time around? I missed your other. I'm sorry if I missed one of your. Let me know if I missed any of them, but I guess I missed your first question, but let me answer it now. Second time around, is PayPal a good place to purchase and use Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., etc.? It's a great question, and I do have an answer for you. How you buy your crypto doesn't matter. How you store your crypto matters. Just like at a bank, if you have this silver bar here, it's not the same as having, SLV. You're trusting a custodian to have the silver. You don't actually have the physical silver. I have the physical silver, so I can declare what I value this at. Whereas they declare what SLV stock is. That's declared by the market, and I just have to agree to that said price. With me and my metal, I don't have to agree on any price. I have it. I own it. And I can ask for premium if I want, because I'm not willing to sell it for their artificial prices. But with Bitcoin and how I relate it to Bitcoin in these exchanges is just like in that same way. If your Bitcoin is on PayPal, well, you don't own your Bitcoin. They have your Bitcoin. And why did Cash App? And I got very lucky and somebody like sent me a Bitcoin, or I got a Bitcoin in my Cash App. So I had a lot of Bitcoin in my Cash App at one point. Bitcoin skyrocketed, and I realized to my dismay or whatever, but I ended up getting it out of there. But they only allow you to take 5,000 out per week. So obviously to most people, 5,000 a week is like, okay, well, if I can move 5,000 a week to a hard wallet, that's fine. But if you have a whole Bitcoin in Cash App, that means you have $50,000 in there, and it's going to take you 10 weeks to withdraw your Bitcoin and actually own your Bitcoin. So if you didn't catch that, it's like they are making it a funnel so that it's very hard to get the asset out of Square and into your own reserve bank. When you have a hard wallet, you're essentially a reserve bank that has full access to his or her funds, anytime, any place. You have full access. You don't have to ask anybody for permission to send a wire. You don't have to ask to get your money in from a bank. You have full access to all of your Bitcoin. Whereas on exchanges, there's limitations and there's different things. So does it matter where you buy it? Maybe a little bit when it comes to fees and different things like that. But once you own it, the most important thing is actually owning the Bitcoin and storing it on a hard wallet, because then you're now a reserve bank. And there is nothing else out there that can make you be a reserve bank that easily. It's so impressive that if you have a hard wallet, you're officially a reserve bank. And you can use a decentralized network to move your Bitcoin around or to move your Ethereum around. You can use a decentralized network, pay the decentralized network to move this through the network. It's like so elegant, so brilliant. But I hope that answers your question, Keek Lord Gray, and I hope that helps a lot of people in here. I would get it off of my personal opinion of it would be getting it off the exchange as fast as possible. And the way you do this too is just play with it a little bit. Buy a hard wallet. Watch some YouTube videos on it. I'm planning to make a lot of hard wallet videos. I'm actually been testing them out. But send $5. You don't have to send your whole wallet, but send a little bit and be like, oh, wow, it worked real easily. Okay, charge me 2 cents to send $5 or whatever it charged you. Okay, well, let's send this now. Let's see how this works. Just play with it a little bit and bounce money around the hard wallets and realize once you have it in a hard wallet, you have full ownership of your Bitcoin. You own your keys. You own the Bitcoin. So that's what the situation is. Moving it from an exchange into actually owning it is the difference, And it's the same way with dollars or anything. It's like, do you actually own your silver or do you own SLV stock? Do you actually own a collectible or do you have an NFT or whatever? One of the digital things that Logan Paul and all of them are doing now. It's like, do you actually own it is the real question. And so make sure you own your Bitcoin. And a lot of the crypto guys in here know that I'm speaking the truth on that. I'm sure we have a lot of crypto guys in the house, and I'm telling the truth on that. But yeah, please do if you guys could. I'll tell you what, guys. I do this every live stream, and I'm over an hour now. I like to keep these live streams at about an hour. I'll stay live for another 30 minutes. If we get the like counter. If we get the like counter to 300 likes, if we have 300 likes, I will stay live for another 30 minutes and I will flip the timer over there. That's a 30-minute sand timer. I will flip the timer again and I will stay live for another 30 minutes, but it's up to you guys. If you don't want to hear my voice anymore, you want me to sign off the live feed, then don't hit the like button. But if you hit the like button and get it to 300, I will flip the timer and we'll stay live for another 30 minutes for all my fellow silver squirrels in here. But if you could smash that like button, get it to 300. I think that's a pretty low number. 300, we'll set the bar a little lower because I'd like to stay live for 30 minutes. But yeah, take it if you think this system that we have is crazy and all that stuff, hit that like button and we will continue to do some live Q&As in here. But man, an hour went by so fast. They go so fast in these live streams. How was the quality of this live stream, by the way, everybody? I did a couple little fixes in the OBS software, and I looked into making sure the stream is a little bit better quality. Last time I had a little bit of glitching going on. I hope that the sound quality is good and the all of this stuff is better than some of the last live streams. Take the power back 83. Why is JM Bullion accepting Bitcoin as payment for PM? They have a software that instantly converts the Bitcoin to dollars. So it's like you pay and the fee's already in the payment. So it's just they're converting it to dollars right away. So it's just the ability to accept Bitcoin. And ironically enough, Peter Schiff is accepting Bitcoin on his website too. I'm actually working on a new website where I'm happy to take Bitcoin as well. Except my company, we might actually hold the Bitcoin. Like we might not just sell it into dollars. The Mineral Exchange might hold the Bitcoin. And I'm working with an accountant right now, figuring out how the whole logistics of it all work. Remember, guys, I'm learning with you all. You know, when people wonder, you know, like what's going on with my company, what I'm doing, you're on the journey with me. You know, everybody in the live stream, you're really on the journey with me. I'm not right about everything. I'm not some guru. I'm an entrepreneur that's building my company right now and building everything with you all on this YouTube. And it's just like mind-boggling, the growth on YouTube and all the support and all the love in the community. And I'm very honored to be part of it. So you're really on the journey with me. I'm not like some unreachable person. If you DM me on Instagram, I've got it down to like 82 more. So it was at one point like 500 messages on my Instagram, and I've gotten it down to like 82. So if I haven't gotten back to you yet, I'm starting at the bottom and working all the way up. But if I haven't missed your question, I'm getting back to every single DM on my Instagram. People are really making me put my money where my mouth is, though, because I had a lot of messages, and I've been getting back to them all while I've been extremely busy, while all this volatility is going on with metals. So it's been a lot on my plate right now. But I will get back to everybody. If you want to follow me on Instagram, at Rob Soltan on Instagram, same name as YouTube here. You can't miss it, at Rob Soltan on YouTube and on Instagram, and shoot me a DM there, and I will get back to every question there. If you have a question about metals, you have a question about crypto, I will get back to you on there. Try to keep it like 1 or 2 questions. I had some where it's like a whole page of questions, so it's kind of hard for me, and it's not fair to the other people. So try to keep it like 1 or 2 questions. Don't get too carried away with them, but I will get back to every single person that DMs me on Instagram. If I haven't gotten back to you yet, I still will get back to you. Give me a little bit of time. I will get back to you. Take the power back 83. That is why JM Bullion is accepting Bitcoin. They are converting it to dollars instantaneously. But all of the retailers are charging a ridiculous premium for their smaller amounts of silver. For the 1 ounce rounds and stuff, the premiums are through the roof. I've seen American Silver Eagles over 40 an ounce while it's at 25 on big time retailers. So I would much rather have a 50-ounce bar and pay a premium for a nicer 50-ounce bar, but not nearly the same premium as, well, these maybe, because these are pretty cool 50-ounce bars. But some of them, you know, just a regular bar, a modern bar, I would much rather have a modern silver bar than a way overpriced Silver Eagle. So that's a subject for another conversation, though. We're at 274 likes. We are almost there to 300 likes. If we get to 300 likes, I will stay live for another 30 minutes, and I'll stay live until like for another like 5 minutes otherwise. But the only reason I say that is if you guys really want me to stay live, I'll do some more Q&As and we'll do some more answers. But take the power back 83. I appreciate the question. Michael Castellon. Everybody, just so you know, I will answer people that are opposing my arguments too. I'm very happy to debate these subjects. But Michael Castellano says, you're wrong about the future. XRP is the future. That's what the SEC stuff is about. Central banks across the world have already adopted it as the standard. I mean, I'll look into it, Michael, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with XRP being the future. I don't believe in the tokenized system like that. I believe in a network in place that is there and decentralized to be rewarded for their labor. You have to have a labor reward system, and there is nothing the same as Bitcoin. There's no deflationary asset the same as Bitcoin. There's no crypto the same as Bitcoin. You don't have the same blockchain. There is no more secure of a blockchain than Bitcoin's blockchain. It is the largest, most secure blockchain. You have the largest, most secure network. You have people that want to be rewarded in Bitcoin for their mining operations. They don't want to be rewarded in XRP. They don't want to be rewarded in other little altcoins. They want to be rewarded in the gold standard of crypto, which is Bitcoin. They're making money. They're not. You can't change a gold miner's mind to mine cobalt if they're set up to mine gold. They're going to mine gold because they make more money mining gold. It's marginal, the same amount of money that they make off cobalt. So I don't agree. I don't think XRP is where it's at. I mean, I'll do some more research. I could be wrong. But for me personally, right now, I see it as a gamble. I don't see Bitcoin as much of a gamble as I see XRP or any of the other coins. I see Bitcoin as the safest bet of all of them. You know, and that's my personal take on it. That's where I am personally. It hasn't done me wrong in the past. It's been very good to me. So I stick with my Bitcoin. I'm not selling my Bitcoin. I don't want to declare gains on Bitcoin. I want to just own it. I just want to own Bitcoin for 10 years. You know, I just want to have it. And maybe in the future, I'll leverage against it. Who knows what I'll do with my Bitcoin. But I like Bitcoin. We're at 296. All right, it looks like you guys are going to get me to stay here for another 30 minutes. 297 likes. If we get to 300 likes, I'll stay here for another 30 minutes, guys. And I am gonna stop after 30 more minutes. I'm gonna stop after 30 more minutes. But we get to 300 likes, I'll do that because it means you guys want me to stay on the live feed. So I appreciate it, everybody. We'll stay live. All right, 304 likes. Okay, we really went past 300. I appreciate it, everybody. Everybody, if you still want to smash the like button, really appreciate it. But you win. You guys win. We're gonna do another. To those that like wonder what I'm into in silver, I love, like, this is an old school vintage Credit Suisse bar. And you can imagine why I think they're so cool. You know, it's like it's an actual old bank bar. You know, you don't see stuff like that every day. A vintage 100-ounce Credit Suisse bank bar of silver. It's like, that's pretty rad. That's pretty rad. Can't deny how cool that is. You know, so that's the kind of stuff that I like with silver. All right, we're staying live for another 30 minutes. The timer's flipped. I'm going to get back to some more questions here. Let's do some more Q&A. Kind of got through everything I wanted to talk about when it comes to the stock market right now and everything going on. Wait, we're still live, right? We're still live. I think my computer accidentally just put me into a different window. Are we still live, everybody? We are still live. Okay, cool. My thoughts on gold. Hang on. Sorry, I accidentally clicked back on the live stream, so I hope it we're good. All right, cool. If I had to choose between gold and dollars, I would choose gold. If I had to choose between gold and silver, I would choose silver, and I wouldn't even think about it. Like, it would be instantaneously the thought process. So it wouldn't be a hard decision to make for me. That's why I don't agree with Peter Schiff's arguments for gold, because if you are going to get into sound money, if you are going to get into precious metals, silver is more rare than gold above ground. It is far more rare than gold above ground. It is not controlled by any central bank in the same way that gold is controlled. It's used in industry. It's an actual real industrial metal. Gold is an industrial metal. but it's not a real industrial metal. Silver is a real industrial metal. Platinum is a real industrial metal. If I had to choose between other precious metals and gold, I would choose the other precious metals. But if I had to choose between gold and dollars or gold and like stocks, I would choose gold. Like that's how I feel about it. I hope that answers the question. Rich, you keep going, Rich. You keep going. He likes to put other people down. You know, I was gonna make a video about this because like I wanted to do if you go to my channel, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, by the way, it's free to click that red subscribe down below. It's totally free to do that. And if you click the bell afterwards and all notifications, you'll get notified of all future live streams on the channel. So we'd love to have you in the community. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. It is 100% free, $0 to click the red subscribe down below. So just click the red subscribe, the bell, and all notifications. You will be notified of all future videos on the channel. It really does help grow the channel and get this message out to more people. So I would love to have you as a subscriber. Really appreciate everybody for hitting the like button and everything. But you'll notice in my live streams, a lot of people, they want me to do a moderator because you'll get the trolls in the live stream. But the funny thing is the trolls actually kind of expose themselves and draw more information for all of us in the Silver Squirrel community. You know, they're kind of like, they make themselves very obvious. You know, it's like, oh, wow, okay, so you definitely are a troll. Okay, that's what trolls think right now. So I'm going to try to do the opposite of that. You know, so I let them speak in there. If they can say whatever they want. There's a lot of subject material to hate on with me. So, I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Like I get like this guy with his orca shirts, his white and black shirts. All he has is the same colored shirts every single live feed. He's always doing that, and his this and that. And so there's a lot of stuff to hate on. So I get it. It's fine. You guys can hate as much as you want. But the one thing I will say about a hater, the one thing I will say about people that are hating on you or hating on anybody, even if they're right with their hate or their trolling, whatever it is, if they're right, wrap around your mind that you got to feel sorry for them. Like you got to have empathy for somebody that's hating on you because they had the time. I don't have the time. Like I wake up in the morning. Sometimes I don't have time to take a shower and it bums me out. I'm like, oh, I got to get over to the warehouse and ship out a bunch of stuff. I got to go. And I have so much going on that I don't have time to think about what somebody's doing online to hate on them. Like I don't have time to do that. I don't know who does have the time, but some people do. So I feel sorry for them. It's like, man, your life must be pretty rough. It must be pretty rough to have to hate on other people. I mean, because it's way more stuff to do right now. So much stuff to do. It's like I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. So that's how I look at somebody that trolls me or hates on me. It's like, man, even if you're right about the subject material, you know, even if you're totally right about me and your hatred is on point. It's like you didn't have anything more productive to do. Like we're all flawed. We're all flawed. Every one of us is flawed. So I leave them. I let them hate on me in the comments. Go ahead. You know, go ahead. Like, say whatever you want. It's fine. Eddie Rodriguez says, howdy from Texas. New to stacking. Love it. Thank you. Eddie Rodriguez, I hope to do business with you in the future at some point, Eddie. Wait, guys, when I launch my new website, people are going to be surprised with what I've been working on with Mineral Exchange. For right now, I'm helping people on an individual basis, and it's been taking me a while to get back to everybody, but I am growing everything. And, you know, if the people in the live stream, I might be hiring soon. So if you're interested in being in the industry, send resumes. Send resumes to my Instagram. DM at Rob Sultan. At Rob Sultan on Instagram. Follow me there. Shoot me some information about you. I am thinking about hiring. Some people have sent me some stuff on that, and you know, maybe you'll be part of the growth here. But there's been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and I am very excited to show everybody in the community what I've been working on. But soon, Mr. T, I do, and we'll talk. We'll talk in the future. Zane, Rob, I'm a software engineer. I can help. Please do hit me up, Zane. Please, because that is actually what I do need right now. I do need software guys. I need IT guys. I need coders, social media individuals. I need stuff like that. And there might be a big thing happening in this near future here. So I need people like that big time. You go through all these comments. Again, if I miss your comment, if your comment's way up there and I missed it, I make sure I never miss a super chat in these live feeds. I really do appreciate it. And it adds up. You know, $5, it adds up, and it ends up making this actually like a job. And so I really do appreciate the super chats, and I won't miss it. If there's a super chat, I won't miss it. If I did miss your question, I still won't miss it. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I will get your message on Instagram. Just shoot me a DM there, at Rob Sultan on Instagram. Follow me there. Shoot me a DM. And there's also a lot of exclusive content on Instagram. And it is free to follow that Instagram as well, if you really want to. It's up to you. But I'd love it if you wanted to be on the Instagram as well. But I will get back to all questions on my Instagram. Just shoot me a DM, at Rob Sultan on Instagram. Rob, I would take your show to the highest level. I'd love to see that. Shoot me a DM, man. Shoot me a DM. Hey Rob, are you going to do a video on water? It's funny that you know that about me, Misfit. You must have been on my channel for a while. I'm weird about my water, the type of water I drink. Super weird about it. I drink a certain kind of water, but I think it's like the fountain of youth is the type of water you drink. You know what, Rich G, even though you've been spamming my live feed as long as you have, I'm going to address that. You talk about being poor, but when you talk about being poor, but when kids pump Doge, you put them down. No, that's not the case. Actually, I started talking bad about Doge when it was at 8 cents. The first video is actually posted on the page. At peak hype, the same night as the Super Bowl, I believe, or maybe the day after, it was over 8 cents per Dogecoin, and I exposed that it is an inflationary coin. It inflates, and it does nothing that other coins don't already do. So if anything, I saved them. I helped, because I am not gonna withhold information. I'm not gonna withhold my gut, no matter what, on my YouTube, and that's why I don't edit my videos. It helps me. It's actually kind of hard to shoot your videos in one take. Sometimes I'll do a video for 2 minutes and mess up in the middle of the video and have to restart it or something. But I don't edit my videos because then it just doesn't seem genuine to me. I have to do it off the cuff. You know, I have to, that's the way you say that, off the cuff or whatever it is. But I have to do it legitimate. I have to just do it live or whatever, and maybe I make a mistake, maybe I don't, but I don't like editing my videos. And in the same way, I don't edit the filter on what I think on a situation. Like I'm not going to tell people the dollar's strong right now when I don't think that. You know, I'm going to say what I feel. And if somebody doesn't like that, change the channel. If somebody does like that, subscribe. And I'd love to have you as a subscriber on the channel and in the Silver Squirrel community. This is, you know, Silver Squirrel HQ here. You know, this is where this is our main hibernation place. You know, this is where we store the acorns. So if you want to be a silver squirrel, if you want to be in our community, we're not lions, we're not tigers, but we're cunning little silver squirrels over here. You know, and I'd love to have you in the community, and click the subscribe down below. But I just like to tell it like it is. You know. Where is Dogecoin now, by the way? Let me take a look at it. I haven't looked at Dogecoin. Let's do a quick market update, everybody. Bitcoin right now is at 48,218. It's really, you know, people talk about Bitcoin pulling back. It's the same people that remember when Bitcoin fell from 20K down to 3K. They're like, oh, it's gone. It's over. It's never coming back. Well, then it got way past 20K and it jumped to 58,000. Then it fell from 58,000 down to 48,000. Everybody's like, oh, it fell down. It's like, wait, aren't you the same one that said it fell from 20 grand? Because last time I checked, it's at 48,000 right now, even after the pullback. So you get what? Like, you know, it's like you got to pull the chart out a year, you know, pull the chart out a year. Don't look at the weekly, monthly chart. Pull it out a year. But Bitcoin's looking pretty dang strong based on how big of a market cap it has. That's the other thing too, is it's not like a small cap. It's a pretty big cap. It's the majority of all crypto. Where's Dogecoin? I'm curious. It's at 5 cents right now. It's at 5 cents right now. And I wasn't talking good about it, about 8 cents. So that's where it is. And I will tell you what, though, to anybody that's big on Dogecoin right now, I will tell you what it would take for me to be bullish on Dogecoin. How about that? In order for me to be bullish on Dogecoin, I would have to see the whales get rid of their positions. And because there's whales that literally own around, I think it's like 30% of Dogecoin, maybe even more. So you'd have to see the whales distribute their positions to everybody else. You'd have to see that. And then you would also have to see a mass adoption from some sort of major institution, like a Tesla, like a Cathie Wood from ARK Invest, like one of those big companies. So how about I put it, maybe I should have phrased it like that in the very beginning so I don't have all the trolls and the hatred coming at me. If I saw institutional buying, if I saw real adoption from big time investors, if I saw a big company like Tesla, who by the way is your guys' number one cheerleader, your number one mascot, is Elon Musk, and he bought Bitcoin instead. So I'd be kind of mad at your mascot. I'd be like, wait, what team are you mascotting for, man? Come on. Why'd you run across the field? Hey, Dogecoin. What about Doge team? Like you went over to Bitcoin team. What's that all about? Well, it seems he saw value in Bitcoin and not Doge. And that's where his money is. Elon Musk is rich on paper. Elon Musk is rich on paper. He doesn't have the money in the bank. It's in Tesla stock. That's where his money is. And what he has access to, he put into Bitcoin. So he has control of Tesla. Not full control of it, but pretty large control of Tesla's shares. And I'm sure whatever he says goes around there. I'm sure he has he's pretty much the captain. So what did they do? They bought Bitcoin. And by the way, guys, he still has another 15 billion or 14 billion to work with. So what is he going to do with it? Turns out he's buying mines like we were talking about earlier. That's the second time we've predicted that in this live feed and in this channel, what Elon Musk might do next. We talked about him buying mining companies, and now he's getting into a nickel mining company. Very interesting. We talked about him buying Bitcoin instead of Dogecoin literally the day before. And there's a publicly posted video on it. And then literally the next day they bought Bitcoin instead of Dogecoin. So that's what I would need to see for Doge to be a mainstream coin. I would need to see, Amazon adopt Dogecoin, Facebook adopt Dogecoin. I think Amazon actually just did something with Ethereum. If you guys want to look into that, all my fellow silver squirrels out there, I'd need to see you, maybe you guys could look into that a little bit more, but I'm looking into that. I think Amazon is working with something to do with Ethereum recently. So if these big companies adopted the token, adopted an altcoin, then that's a major different situation. I like to play confirmations. I don't like to play gambles. So why am I playing Bitcoin? Because ARK Invest is playing Bitcoin, because Cathie Wood's playing Bitcoin, Chamath Palihapitiya is playing Bitcoin, Raoul Paul is playing Bitcoin, Michael Saylor's playing in Bitcoin, Tesla's playing in Bitcoin. That's why, Grayscale Trust is an actual ETF out there. It's a real, you have Grayscale that exists to get into Bitcoin in the stock market. Like these things exist, which is why I'm bullish on Bitcoin, because it's actually being adopted. Peter Schiff can't deny that Cash App is a huge company, that Square is a huge company, PayPal is a huge company, Coinbase is a huge company. These are all huge companies. It is very much so adopted. PayPal, a $300 billion juggernaut of a payment processor allowing you to buy Bitcoin, is pretty big news, Peter. Just newsflash. PayPal didn't buy gold, Peter. They didn't buy gold. They bought Bitcoin, or they adopted Bitcoin. Square didn't buy gold. They bought Bitcoin. Tesla didn't buy gold. They bought Bitcoin. And they're probably going to buy silver, not gold. So Peter Schiff's got to figure his stuff out, because gold ain't performing too well. Excuse me. But I think maybe I should have started that from the very beginning with the Dogecoin thing. Maybe I shouldn't have been so mean about it, even though I genuinely feel that way. That what I see on the surface right now is I don't see any reason to have Dogecoin. If I see Tesla buy a multi-billion-dollar position in Dogecoin, then I'd be like, okay, fine. Okay. I'll eat my words. But that hasn't happened. They bought Bitcoin instead. So why don't we see that play out? All my Dogecoin silver squirrels in here. Maybe I got a lot of people that are still in there, even though I'm against it. I don't know. But I'm not for it. I don't like Doge. But I would have to The Justin, he says NBA is accepting Doge. No, that's Mark Cuban's way of trying to do a PR campaign because he did some weird stuff recently and he's trying to do a PR campaign. Mark Cuban's doing that. And what they're doing is they accept it for tickets or whatever, and then they convert it to dollars as fast as possible. So they're not actually using it. It's like, it's a conversion thing. They're converting it. Zilla in the house. What's up, Jay? Hey, I appreciate you saying that, man. He says being honest isn't mean. It's true. What's the saying? Like Ben Shapiro says all the time. He goes, facts don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your feelings. Facts are facts. It doesn't care about your feelings. You know, whether you agree or disagree with that guy, that's a very true statement. Facts don't care about feelings. They're the facts. You know, don't sugarcoat things. Oh, hey, whoa. Hold up there. I actually did a live stream with Arcadia Economics with the founder of Wall Street Silver, and we, on air, we could pull up that video and take a clip out of it. Maybe we should, but we on air said silver squirrels, we're cool with the gorillas. Gorillas eat the plants. They don't eat squirrels. Like silverback gorillas and squirrels, we're cool with each other. We work as a team. We're cunning little critters. You know, squirrels, we're cunning little critters. The gorillas, they make noise, they bang their chest, and we need them on Team Silver. Like there's room for both of us, but the squirrels, we're kind of a little bit more creative about what we do. So we're a little bit more of the cunning type, but the gorillas, we need very loud voices in the silver community. So we're friendly. We're friendly with each other. We established this on air. You know, this is actually true. The founder of Wall Street Silver, I was on air with the founder of Wall Street Silver talking about this, and we went through this, that we're good with each other. We're good. But I will always say I'm a squirrel. I love being a silver squirrel. It's so funny that we adopt. We used to say in the dealer world, oh, you're a squirrel if you don't sell something, you know. It's like, and right now, like the way I'm holding my silver, if you go to my website, it's all sold out. So everybody could be like, oh, in the dealer world, you'd be like, oh, Rob's being a squirrel right now. He's such a squirrel. He just hides all the acorns and goes into hibernation. He's a squirrel, you know. That's where the term came from. And then I brought that up in a live stream. I'm like, you know, we always call each other squirrels. And then somebody brought up, what about silver squirrels? And I'm like, that has a nice ring to it. I like that. And then it was adopted in a live stream and we went from there. And so now that's how the term silver squirrel came into existence. It came very organically. We were talking about it. Like I was talking about how we talk about, if you go through my Instagram, I actually have posts of like, this is my spirit animal. Way before we talked about silver squirrels. If you go through my Instagram and go to the bottom post, I did a video on this squirrel that was sitting there in like this position. And I'm like, that's my spirit animal. Some people can be tigers. Some people can be lions. That's my spirit animal. We just got to watch out for cars. Cars are not our friends. All right. Enough of that. Mario, really appreciate the $2, man. He says all in XRP banks adopt this year. Also Doge and Tron. I mean, Mario, like I said before, if the word gets out that banks are going to use XRP, I'll eat my words. But in the near future, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in Bitcoin, and I could convert my Bitcoin. I could change my Bitcoin into a different coin if I want. But if I want to store my wealth in the digital realm, it's going to be in Bitcoin. Look at XRP's chart. Like XRP's chart is the most like caffeine chart I've ever seen. Like it's somebody that drank like 5 gallons of caffeine and then was like, let's go, and then crash and let's go, and crash and let's go. Like XRP is crazy, man. It's crazy. Look at Bitcoin's chart. Bitcoin is just because it's a deflationary coin. I'm sticking with Bitcoin. It will be too late by then. You know, I mean, if the thing is, I'm not that kind of a gambler. I take risk, but I have to have some sort of confirmation for me to take that risk. I might have been late on Bitcoin. I might have not gotten Bitcoin in the hundreds, like Chamath Palihapitiya or, you know, Max Kaiser. Max Kaiser, if you're out there, Max, I would love to talk with you. You are one of the coolest cats out there. Max Kaiser, if somebody could clip this video and send it over to him or something, Max Kaiser is somebody I really admire, and he's bullish on silver just like me, and he's bullish on Bitcoin, and he is such a funny dude. He is so fun to watch. And if you get past, sometimes he's so funny that you he hides just how intelligent he is. The guy is so funny that he doesn't, you have to watch him and actually know who he is. And then eventually you go, oh, wow, you actually are a super genius. So, okay, I get it. You know, and he only once in a while he'll dress up and take it serious. And then once in a while he's joking around and playing around. But Max Kaiser, you are a very cool cat. And I admire you a lot, man. And I would love to be able to talk with you one day. He's a really, really one of my favorite people to watch on YouTube. So if you don't follow Max Kaiser, please go check him out. Corrupted threw me $20. You are the man, Corrupted. You're the same person that came in the live feed another time and really you hooked me up a lot, man. I really appreciate you doing that. He says, sorry, just joined. Recap, please. Hope all is great with everyone. You are the man, Corrupted. Honestly, thank you, man. Thank you for that. That really is cool. And then Looney Luna says, clink your silver bars for us silver squirrels. I'll do that, but I also got a recap for Corrupted. The recap, I would say, if I was going to recap, I don't think the dollar, if I was going to just recap this entire video, it was about how I don't think the sell-off in the stock market over the last month is a bullish indicator when you know a stimulus package is coming out. If the stimulus package is coming out, then you shouldn't be selling off ahead of that. You should be holding steady. So you should see the stock market staying flat. But over the last month, we've seen a big sell-off. So that tells me people are getting out ahead of the news of a stimulus package being dropped, where that should be free money for the stock market. Excuse me. So I said how I think it's smoke and mirrors, and I think the truth is people are getting out of the stock market while they can and declaring their profits while they can. And that the stimulus package isn't going to affect the stock market in the way that people are thinking. And people are already showing that by leaving the stock market prior to it being dropped. So the stimmy check, it hasn't been dropped yet people are already leaving the market. They're not even staying flat or holding steady, waiting for it to be dropped yet. So it's very odd to me to see this and this level of a pullback where you see Tesla fall 30% or Apple fall over 10%. These are pretty big pullbacks. And I also brought up how I don't believe that the dollar should be this strong. The dollar should not be this strong. It shouldn't be 92 on the dollar index. It makes no sense. It should be half of that. It should be half of that with how much the dollar's been diluted. So I just talked a lot about smoke and mirrors and this recent sell-off in the stock market being very telling for what could happen in the future. And just kind of emphasized what the denomination is of what we are buying a stock with. We're buying it with dollars. We're not buying stocks with gold and silver. We're not buying stocks with Bitcoin. We're buying it with dollars. And those dollars are very diluted right now. And I think people are getting rid of the hot potato as fast as they can and putting it into safe haven assets, whether that be real estate, whether that be their business, whether that be maybe even a new car. Maybe there's many things that people want to buy with the money before. I mean, look at the price of gas. Has anybody noticed the price of gas has been skyrocketing? Anybody notice the price of commodities are skyrocketing right now? Anybody noticing that? Or is it just me? Like over here, it's like gas is almost $4 a gallon. It's rough. It makes me want to buy a Tesla and have solar panels. You know? So, I mean, it's only a matter of time before people realize that Powell isn't telling all the truth. You know, it's very hard for me to believe that this man can go out there publicly and say that he doesn't believe in inflation, and Yellen can say inflation's not happening and the dollar's getting stronger after everything that's going on right now, all of the money that's been printed. It's so hard for me to believe that these individuals aren't talking puppets. And by the way, it's hard for me to talk about these subjects. So if you could subscribe to my channel, it helps me be able to talk about these subjects because I am a little nervous to be talking about the stuff that I talk about. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do click that red subscribe down there so we keep this thing going. It does help if we got numbers on our side. So please do be part of the channel. Please do click that subscribe. It's totally free to do it. You don't have to be part of any membership or anything like that. It's just the red subscribe down below and then click the bell and all notifications. If you want to go to my Instagram, if I miss your question on here, shoot me a DM on Instagram at Rob Sultan on Instagram. I'm getting back to every single DM there. I know it's been a week or two since I've gotten back to some of them, but I'm getting back to them very fast. I think I went through like 110 of them this morning. Last time I checked, I had 82 messages. It says 99 plus, but then I've got it down to like 82 or 92 or something like that. So I'm getting it done. I will be getting it done. I'm knocking out like 10 of them every hour or so. So I am getting those done. So if you want to shoot me a DM, I will get back to you there. If you are interested in getting in precious metals, I can help you there as well on a personal basis. It's not like an assistant or something. It's me answering everything there. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, if I missed your question, you can reach out to me there. But I won't miss any super chat. And Corrupted, you are the man. Thank you so much for doing that. Shot me $20, man. And in one of my live feeds, he gave me like $200. Corrupted, you're a cool dude. If you please shoot me a DM. I don't know if I know how to prove that it's you or something on a DM, but if you could shoot me a DM and I could find out who you are, I would love to be able to talk. But the other super chat, hang on. All right, hang on. This is for you. This is for you. Here we go. Here we go. We're officially doing the ASMR version of this. All right, guys, we're officially a ASMR channel. Should I get into nickel? I mean, it's very interesting that Elon Musk just got into nickel mining. I guess it's very hard to get nickel, which is very telling. But then at the same time, Elon Musk is a master of putting on fronts. He like puts on a facade and then does something different. Talks about Dogecoin, buys Bitcoin. Like every time he says something, he does something completely different. So it's like he's a master. Like people don't understand that about Elon Musk. It's like this guy, I think he's got a good heart. But I think he is just a master manipulator. I think he is a textbook, like just grand sensei manipulator. Like he's on a whole nother level of it. And he just knows that he has to put up, like, I think Mars is like his way to be able to put up a satellite system. I think talking about Mars was his way to get people excited about SpaceX. But really the ultimate goal of SpaceX is to own the internet and to like decentralize the internet. That's what I genuinely, in my mind, I'm calling that out in this live stream. If I was going to just speak what I genuinely think is going on, I think SpaceX is decentralizing the internet through Starlink. I think that was the goal all along. But Mars was like this pretty vision that everybody could follow along with, sort of thing. And then like doing the space station stuff was just them to make money and get a contract. So it was like almost like it was like step one, get contract to make a bunch of money, make billions for the company. Step two, deploy Starlink. And they're deploying Starlink now. And so that would be, if Starlink gets deployed and the internet is decentralized and everybody has high-speed internet around the world based on Starlink satellites, yeah, Bitcoin couldn't be stopped then. It would be impossible to stop it. Because the internet couldn't be stopped if it's up. You know, just like I said, Janet Yellen and Poof Powell, Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen could get out on their lawn, they could leave the bingo hall, and they could point up at the Starlink and go, no, you can't do that. You can't do that up there, young kids. But at the end of the day, they could say, get off my lawn as much as you want, but they only control their lawn. They don't control the stars up there. So if this Starlink thing's up there, if the satellites are up there and the internet's decentralized, they can't do anything about it. And the funny thing is, this isn't actuality. This is actually happening. Those Starlink satellites are already being deployed. So it's like, I think Elon Musk has been working on something all along. And I think he just keeps very quiet. I think Elon Musk and like all entrepreneurs, they do first and ask questions later. They do first ask questions later, you know? Wait, Corrupted, hang on. Dude, that's so generous of you, man. He said, I sent you a DM on IG on the 26th. Count ends in, I'm going to take a picture of that so I remember. 1 second. I'm going to get back to you tonight, Corrupted, honestly. You've been so generous, man. I appreciate that. Let me take a... All right, I got a picture of that. I'm going to be able to talk with you there. We are almost at 400 likes. And by the way, my 30-minute timer's up, everybody. That time flies in these live streams, everybody. I wasn't planning to do a 2-hour live stream. I want to be able to post these and make it so it's not like overwhelming for people to watch. Some people go like, I can't believe it's a 3-hour live stream. I can't watch this whole thing. But I mean, we got a lot of people in the live stream, and I'll keep it going. I'll keep it going if you guys want to keep it going. Tell you what, we'll end the live stream at 2 hours. We're in the live stream at 2 hours. We got 12 minutes left or 11 minutes left. If you guys really, really want me to stay, if we get to 500 likes, I will stay for another 30 minutes. If we get to 500 likes in the next 11 minutes, I'll stay here if we get to 500 likes. So how about that? I think that's putting a little bit out there because I don't want to do these past 2 hours. But if you guys really want me to stay, I will stay and flip the timer for another 30 minutes if we go to 500 likes. So if you smash the like button, we'll do it. We'll stay. I think that's fair enough. But we stayed for another 30 minutes already. I was planning on doing a 1 hour live stream, but I have a lot of fun, and things are brought up in these live streams by, I don't know if I'm on this, Justin. If the Silver Squirrels could make that happen, you did get me on Arcadia Economics, and we were able to chat there, and that was a blast. That was so fun to be able to talk there with everybody. But if to get on Meet Kevin, that would be, he's pretty big time. He's pretty big time. I mean, he's so big time that he actually can get Peter Schiff on his show. I can't get Peter Schiff to debate me, even though he comments on my videos. Peter Schiff himself has commented on my videos saying, I hope your channel does better than Bitcoin. Well, that was a passive-aggressive comment, Peter, but guess what? My channel did better than Bitcoin. It outperformed Bitcoin from that. I think I had 1,000 subscribers then, so it outperformed Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin went from 17,000 to 50,000 since Peter Schiff commented on that video where I made a video saying I disagree with Peter Schiff on Bitcoin, and Peter Schiff is wrong about Bitcoin. I think I've made 4 separate videos saying Peter Schiff is wrong on Bitcoin. One of them, Peter commented on it, and then Bitcoin went from 17,000 to 50,000. I think he's just embarrassed. I think I don't think he would be able to do a debate with me. I think he's embarrassed because silver's outperformed gold, and he knows silver's a better choice than gold. So his arguments, he doesn't have a leg to stand on against me in a debate. So I think he's just embarrassed and scared to debate me. Sorry. I like you, Peter. I think you're a patriot. I think you're a libertarian. I'm a libertarian. I believe in your philosophies. I've learned a lot from you, but I think you're wrong. And you have been wrong, and you'll continue to be wrong. But just my opinion. But I think you're right about the dollar and the economy and stuff like that. I just think you're wrong about gold. And you're wrong about Bitcoin. I mean, he accepts Bitcoin. You can pay him in Bitcoin. Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter. Peter can't go against the squirrels. He can't go against the squirrels. We got numbers. He can't take on the squirrels. Silver squirrels. We're a powerful bunch of critters over here. He wouldn't be able to handle it. Who's Carl Starr? Carl Starr says, sounds like you can find some friends down. Oh, okay. I put 2 and 2 together. Mr. T. You're the man. Schiff is a dragon. Dragons love gold. Platinum or silver? Now, that's a good question, Steve. Now, that's a good question to ask. Platinum or silver? I look at platinum, like, why do you own gold in comparison to silver? Because a small little brick of gold, a small little gold bar can have $20,000 in it. A little 10-ounce gold bar can have a big chunk of cash in that little bar, whereas you need a lot more silver. And so to carry around $100,000 worth of gold versus $100,000 worth of silver, I've done a video with $100,000 worth of silver. Now it's about half the size of that big stack that I did in that video, but because it went up a lot. But you can imagine, like, you can't just put that in a backpack. But with gold, you can put it in a backpack. 100,000 worth of platinum, as also you can put into a backpack. So it's like the gold of industrial metals, platinum. And it's so finite, so limited, that if it gets started to be adopted as a monetary metal, and Mike Maloney's wrong about it being not being a monetary metal, because it is a monetary metal. Like, there's platinum maples that have a denomination. There are platinum gold or platinum eagles that are $100 denominations, and gold eagles are $50 denominations. So it is a monetary metal. And if platinum continues to be adopted as a monetary metal, well, you're talking about that being able, they could much easier be cornered than any other metal. It's like so ridiculously cheap for how much value it is. So it's like, I have both. Like, I like both. I like them almost equally. I'm more heavy on silver because silver is really undervalued and can have a big ROI. I think silver could 2, 3x, 4x, easily. I think it should be there right now. So silver is just so undervalued and used so much in industry and electronics that I like silver a little bit more than platinum, but platinum is a very, very, very close second, almost to the point where they're tied for first. Those are my favorite holdings. I love platinum. Love platinum. Have nothing bad to say about platinum or silver. Those are my favorite holdings. And those are the things that I can own with conviction, because it's like, I consider those metals like a bank account. Like I would rather have those metals than dollars. I would much rather have them. You can't dilute those metals. So that's everybody that I'm very upfront about what I believe in, and it's not very complicated. I don't have a master course on what I invest in. There's so many YouTubers that are like, sign up for my course. There's a link in the bio. Sign up for my course. All I want you to do is click the subscribe, and it's free to click the subscribe. And I would appreciate that if you would click the subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. But and the bell and all notifications, and you'll be notified of all future videos. It's free to do that. There is no membership. There is no fancy spiel. But I believe in silver, platinum, Bitcoin. Those are my three. That's where I want to be right now. And people who know me know I really put my money where my mouth is. Like, I genuinely believe in those three things: silver, platinum, Bitcoin. I like those three things. And after studying and studying and studying all the assets, all the stocks I could be in, all the different things, that's where I want to be. I have a little bit of gold, have a little bit of palladium. I don't have any rhodium, and it makes me want to cry. But that's where I want to be. And I'm very upfront with what I'm doing. And so I will say, though, if Tesla falls to like a 400 billion valuation, because I don't really care about what the stock price is, I care about what their valuation drops to. That's another little tidbit of information for everybody in the live stream. Follow market caps. This is what I did with Dogecoin too. Look at, everybody talks about, oh, well, it's only 8 cents. It's only 8 cents. No, it was $10 billion on the market cap. There was a lot of 8 cents tokens out there, a lot of them, billions of them. So it's like, that's why you see 8 cents, but I see a market cap. They can show me Tesla's at 10,000, but I'm still going to look at the market cap. I want to know what the valuation on the brand, on the company is. I want to know the overall valuation. And if Tesla fell, because in my mind, I genuinely believe that Tesla will be more valuable than Apple. That's my little prediction. I think Tesla is disrupting way bigger industries than Apple already consumed. Apple already consumed the whole, consumer electronics industry. Like, they consumed it. So energy is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Cars is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Software for those is another trillion-dollar industry. So it's like Tesla is it's part of a way bigger pie that they are disrupting than just the consumer electronics space. The consumer electronics space is like a $1 trillion or less industry, and Apple has consumed all of it. So it's like, at this, how many more iPhones can they come out with? How many more headphones can they come out with? It's not going to be the same kind of disruption as a car. Tim Cook know how I know Tim Cook is no Steve Jobs? Tim Cook isn't a Steve Jobs because he actually didn't take the meeting to buy out Tesla at 50 billion. And for that, you are the fool of the live stream, Tim Cook. I cannot believe you didn't. And you want to go buy, like, I think they're buying like some other, working with BYD, or I forget what they're doing right now with electric cars, but they're working with some small company on electric cars, and they have no product. They have nothing to compete with Tesla. They have no battery pack that they can make. And they had a super company that was strategically placed down the street from you, Tim Cook. You fool. You fool. Steve Jobs is rolling in his grave because he would have had Elon Musk over the minute he met him. Steve Jobs I loved Steve Jobs. I used to follow every single one of his presentations. I loved all the Apple products when I was a kid. I got the first iPhone when it first came out, and I loved listening to Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs would have for sure bought Tesla. He would have for sure bought Tesla. Only Tim Cook doesn't have any vision like that. He just doesn't have the vision. He's just a logistics guy. So Apple's not ran by a team of like talented artists. It's ran by logistics guys. And not buying Tesla. And and the worst part is they were sitting on $200 billion, and they didn't know what to do with this $200 billion. And meanwhile, Tesla is desperate for 30 billion or 50 billion at the time. And they've passed that up. And now Tesla's it's looking to compete with them on their market cap. Like, eventually they're at 2 trillion obviously right now, and Tesla's at what, 600 billion, 575. But I think that was a major, like, honestly, the error of the decade. Like, that was the error of the decade, was Tim Cook dropping the ball on Tesla. And then for Elon Musk to admit that he tried to get a meeting and he didn't get a meeting. You didn't even want to give him a meeting, Tim? You didn't even want to give him a meeting? Crazy, man. You're crazy. I can't believe that. It just blows my mind. But yeah, I think the fact that Steve Jobs is gone, that Wozniak doesn't really do anything there, but Wozniak needed Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs needed Wozniak, and they were like a powerful team together. Tim Cook was like their logistics guy, and Steve probably just knew like, yeah, he'll keep things afloat, he'll keep things going, you know. But that's what happened, you know. And now they don't have anybody. I mean, I'm gonna get those new headphones because I don't really like these Bose ones. It says too much stuff when you start it up, but they have some cool products still coming out. Rob, I will be in touch with you soon about THCT. There will be very much synergy here. This cannabis company's founder loves silver. Interesting, Brandon. Yeah, shoot me a DM. And if you have, reach out. Go to my. You'll find a way to get in touch with me. It could be a DM on my Instagram. If you just if it's put in your Instagram, your company information, so I know it's you and it's authentic, your page is authentic. That's what's great about social media, is you can find if somebody's authentic by just going to their social media and being like, okay, he's got X amount of followers and he works for the company and the CEO follows him, and okay, now it's authentic. So shoot me a DM and I will talk about it. But I'd love to hear more about that. Only young CEOs are buying Bitcoin. I don't know about that, Justin. I think Tesla, I mean, Elon's not exactly young. I think he's like 50, right? How old is Elon Musk? Hey Siri, how old is Elon Musk? Yeah, he's 49. So he's pretty old. I mean, he's not old, but he's a little bit older, you know. And then Michael Saylor, I think Michael Saylor is above 50. So I mean, like they're not exactly young. They're young, but they're not like young. Paul Tudor Jones. I think Paul Tudor Jones is. Hey Siri, how old is Paul Tudor Jones?
66 years old.
Yeah, he's 66. Paul Tudor Jones is pretty old. So yeah, Saylor's not young either. So I don't know if that comment made sense. Yeah, Max Kaiser. Yeah, a lot of these guys. I mean, honestly, what I love to do is watch old videos. Like, don't watch their most recent video. Watch Chamath Palihapitiya talk 6 years ago, 7 years ago about Bitcoin in the hundreds and being laughed off of CNBC. And now he's praised. You know, like look at their track records. Peter Schiff has been like right once every 40 years. You know, Jim Chanos is right once every 20, 30 years. Like these short sellers that get some press or whatever, they're right once a decade. You know, so it's like you follow the guys. Chamath Palihapitiya is like Babe Ruth of investments. Like he literally did that one time. Like, well, what do you think about what Warren Buffett does? Warren Buffett barely even trails the S&P 500. Warren Buffett has been just not doing anything over the past year. I think he's trailing the S&P 500. I think he's losing compared to the S&P 500. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Warren Buffett is like not making gains. But then you got Chamath Palihapitiya and Cathie Wood and all these different people that at first people oppose them and they talk so bad about them. And I remember when Cathie Wood went on CNBC, I've talked about this in the past, and says, I think Tesla's going to 4,000. And they're like, what? The highest target on the street right now is 500. You said 4,000? Yep, 4,000. We think at ARK Invest is going to hit 4,000. Sure enough, hits 4,000. Like Cathie Wood was right, but she was trolled heavy. Michael Saylor, when he first bought Bitcoin, trolled heavy. Now he's got a $4.5 billion position in Bitcoin, maybe more than that. So, I mean, you got to follow their track record. Look up old videos of them speaking. Same thing with Elon Musk. Same thing with all these very intelligent individuals. Max Kaiser. Watch old videos of them, and their track records speak for themselves. That's who I want to follow. I want to follow someone. Do it with me. Do it with every YouTuber. Everywhere. Ask questions everywhere you go. Go into their old videos. You can go into my old videos. I never will delete a video. You know, right, wrong, or whatever. I'm never leaving any video. I'm never deleting any video. And you can go back to me talking about silver at 18. You know, when I did that $100,000 worth of silver versus $100,000 worth of gold, yeah, it was a clickbaity video and I was trying to get my name out there. It really was. But at the same time, I was saying what I genuinely believed. And I thought the silver to gold ratio was way out of proportion and I wanted to show it in a literal way. And turns out it was. You know, the silver at the time was 18 an ounce. And in the comments, you see, well, I can't believe silver was 18. I can't believe now that silver's worth this much. And realistically, it should be worth a lot more than that. But these are all the things that I'm talking about with the stock market and all this stuff. I hope that I stay consistent. And if I'm not, please call me out for it. Please call me out if I'm not consistent, because I don't want to be a talking hands channel. I put my face out there because, I mean, it would be easier to be a talking hands channel because you don't have any risk. You have no skin in the game, pun intended. You know, if you are one of these talking hands channels, you can get away with talking about things that you don't genuinely believe just for, you know, likes or clout or whatever. But when you show your face, you got skin in the game. You know, you're putting yourself out there, and that's why I do this. Some people say, you know, why are you doing that? You're risking yourself, this and that. You shouldn't put your face out there. No, I'm going to put my face out there so that people know that I really I stand by my opinions. I stand by what I do, and I appreciate everybody for all your support and everything. It really has been overwhelming. Does different years of silver coins affect value? Absolutely it does, Pillow. I know somebody just said silver, but no, it definitely affects its value. Age of silver. Look at somebody show me an 1889 Carson City silver dollar and give it to me for spot. Give it to me for melt price, please. Anybody that says silver. Give me a 1889 Carson City, a nice one, an uncirculated one, and give it to me at spot. I'll take it at melt, please. Sure, I'll take all of them that you have. And you know what I mean? So, I mean, yes, there is rarities. There are rarities out there, and rarities actually have gone up in value a lot more than just the spot prices. So, yes, it does affect things, but you have to be very smart. You have to do your due diligence. Like I've had like old New York assay bars. I have two old Comex bars from the actual New York assay office. Like, how about my Garsopa bar, my Shipwreck Treasure bar? This is one of 400 some odd bars that was recovered from the actual SS Garsopa shipwreck from World War II. Is that just silver? Is silver in that situation? There's only 400 some odd bars that were recovered from the shipwreck treasure. So is that silver? Should I just sell that for spot? You know, it's like, I don't know if that makes any sense. There's a big difference between collecting and stacking. Like you can have both, but there's definitely numismatic value. Come on, Rob. Why would you buy a rare copper coin that doesn't make any sense? Old pennies were made out of copper. Numismatic pennies. I mean, there's modern pennies that were made out of copper, you know, and they're pretty valuable in a certain grade in the numismatic world. So, I mean, it depends. I mean, it all depends. I mean, I get what you're saying too. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but you have to do your due diligence on what you're collecting, and why you're collecting it. You know, so some of my best investments I've ever made in my entire life was buying things that other people said was a bad buy, you know, like, or it wasn't a good idea to buy this. You have to follow your own gut instinct on what it is that you're buying in collectibles. And if you buy something that you think is cool, odds are somebody else will think it's cool too. So if you have to define whatever the collectability of something is yourself and come up with that decision. But I know when vintage bullion was first starting out and people were collecting like old, I've posted some, I'm starting on my Instagram at Rob Sultan on Instagram. I'm posting some of my vintage bars on there, and I posted my Comex bars. I posted my old 1951 New York assay bars. I have these 1,000-ounce bars that are actually from the real New York assay office of 1951. Somebody had to bring in a bunch of silver certs to bring these to get these actually delivered. To deliver the goods of these assay bars was like a ridiculous amount of silver certs, and I have two of them that are sequential serial numbers from 1951. I mean, they're 70 years old. So things like that, I have seen things appreciate wildly over the years from being a very cool vintage bar or like an old shipwreck treasure bar, like things like that. You have to know what you're buying, but just you have to do your own due diligence in your research. mean, you could make a very bad decision in collectibles too. You know, you might buy an overvalued Pokemon card or something, and then it drops half its value the next day. If you didn't do your research on it and, you know, bought off some trend or something, you got to make sure you're buying something that you genuinely believe is going up in value, and don't be distracted by hype. Like Dogecoin, I wasn't distracted by that. I went very, very much against the grain on Dogecoin when it was at like 8 cents. Everybody was saying to the moon. It ended up falling quite a bit. You know, I go against the grain. I follow my gut. Yeah, Zilla J knows about this. Those are actually posted on my Instagram, at Rob Sultan on Instagram. I posted those bars on there. If you want to see pictures of those old New York Assay bars, they're actually on my Instagram right now. I posted a picture of them at Rob Sultan on Instagram. And if I miss your question, by the way, if you follow me there and shoot me a DM, I will get back to you. But if you don't follow me, I won't get back to you. How about that? Please follow me on Instagram. I'm a small time person on Instagram. Help me out. Just kidding. I'll answer everybody. I'm just kidding. But shoot me a DM there on Instagram, at Rob Sultan on Instagram. I will get back to all the questions there. I'll help you out. No Mavs merch for you. That's fine. That's fine. I think Cuban is kind of a Cuban's kind of a flip-flopper. He flip-flops. He flip-flops all the time and kind of moves on whatever society tells him to do in a way. He doesn't like, I don't see him genuinely going from his gut anymore. Like he's like very malleable. He was very opposed to Bitcoin. Now he's not so opposed to Bitcoin. It's like he was very malleable to what society says. So I don't know if I respect that. I like a lot of the things that Cuban does say, but then sometimes he loses me at times. He really loses me at times. He says some really bad things at times. So I don't know. I kind of stay away from that. I know you're just kidding. I know you're just kidding. Real talk though, how tall are you? I'm 5'11", but I will say I'm 6 foot to make me feel better about my ego. But probably 5'10" and 3/4 or something if I had to measure it exactly. But I'll say if it depends on who's asking me. If it's like a girl asking me or something, I'm 6 foot. I'm always 6 foot. But if I'm being honest, I'm around 5'11". That's funny. I don't know if you could tell. Maybe this chair or something makes you. I get this chair. This is, by the way, one of the most comfortable chairs that I ever had. It's like leans back. It's a beauty. It's a beauty of a chair. Maybe it makes me look short. All right, guys. We didn't get to 500 likes, but I still stayed an extra 10 minutes. Maybe we can get it to 500 likes anyway, but I'm going to sign out, everybody. It's always a blast doing these live streams. I always have a lot of fun with all the silver squirrels in the house, but overall, let's watch the stock market very close. Personally, I'm not interested in being involved in it, especially if it's selling out prior to the best news ever for them, which would be another stimmy check. You know, that would artificially boost the price of the stocks, you know? So, but why are they selling off prior to that stimmy check getting dropped? It's very telling to me. And that's what this video is all about, getting this information, getting the real information out to you. I appreciate you all so much. I love all you guys. Honestly, it's just been such a rewarding thing to build this YouTube channel. By the way, this YouTube channel was started in July of last year. We're not even a year old on the channel, and the channel we're approaching 15,000 subscribers. So if you could help me get to 15,000 subscribers, I'd really appreciate it. All the people that share this video, if you want to share the videos, if you want to tell a friend about the videos, it really does help. If every person does that, the channel would just go through the roof. And the more people we have subscribing to the channel, the better chances we have to get out this message to bigger figures out there. And the ultimate goal of this channel would be to talk to Max Kaiser. If you want to see me be able to talk to Max Kaiser on behalf of our fellow silver squirrels, that would be something that I would want to do with a bigger channel here on YouTube. So every new subscriber, every like I get on a video, it makes us that much closer to that goal. And I promise you, I will always be the same person. I will always be the same person. I'm not going to sway my opinion to get hype or clout or anything like that. And I hope as you watch all my videos that you see that I stay consistent. And if I'm not, call me out on it. So with that being said, thank you everybody so much. Please do smash that like button. If you haven't followed my Instagram, at Rob Sultan on Instagram, shoot me a DM over there. I'm getting back to every single DM, at Rob Sultan on Instagram. Another epic live feed. Was super, super fun. Thank you again. Signing out. See you at the next one.